made me a dragon, and she also made me a
Is that
turtle.
a turtle? Oh
Yeah,
my god, it's so cute.
yeah, it's pretty
I
cool,
love
right? It's I'm
it's fantastic.
supposed to like it's mobile, like if I have to go somewhere
Mm,
and I need protection, I take my turtle. So
hell
yeah,
yeah.
Monique Monique made that for me from the Home Wrecker
Hell yeah.
podcast, y'all. But yeah, it look. I mean, my
It's stunning.
webcam is pretty shitty, but I
It's
gotta get
very
that
French.
fixed. I used to look nice. It used to look much better when that 4K one was working, but it does
Mm,
not.
but still, it has good vibes. You can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
very efficient.
it's really cool. She sent me a whole write up that I got to go through it. But like, not only did she sent me, she like wrote a whole thing, like everything that she put in it, and all the
Hell yeah.
gems and stuff. So it's pretty
Hell
neat.
yeah. It's wonderful.
I've got to I gotta look all that stuff up.
Hell yeah. I'm figuring out the shipping of this monstrosity that I'm currently looking at, and it's gonna be interesting. But I went to the post office today to inquire, and the poor man, was very, very confused. I'm like, I have to ship some artwork. It's large. Can you help
Oh
me? And he was like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I know nothing about art. Yeah, buddy, but do you know anything about shipping? Like, I got the art part
Yeah,
covered.
cause
Like, don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah, cause you actually work at the shipping place. So
Yeah, like you,
yeah.
and the thing is, they're like, normally when I ship work, it's FedEx or like Euro Express or like
Hmm.
a courier service. This time, they're like, it has to be the official post of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I'm like,
I
I've
wonder why.
I don't know because I guess maybe they have like a partnership or they don't trust courier services. Maybe the post has better insurance. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they should if they're asking you to do that, then they should have some kind of write up to tell you how to actually accomplish that. You know, you
No, I
would
mean
think.
it's relative. I mean, in terms of like, it's relatively easy. It's even explained on like the post website. You go to the location, like you pre-wrap your thing. I'm gonna get two pieces of like plain large paper just to be sure,
Sure.
and I will do the stretch foil thing. And they have like big cardboard envelopes that they will enclose it for me. But the only thing I'm trying to avoid, that's why I went to a location, because I have a post service literally outside of my house. And I was like, can you accept this large of a package? He was like, we can, but go down the street, there's another post office, and that way you will ensure that it's shipped directly to the destination. Because if I sent it in from here, they would have to ship it across the street. It's a whole procedure. But
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah. I get what you're saying. It's like
yeah,
it's like a mail shipping place kind of a thing. But like, yeah.
yeah,
But like the
it's really
actual post office is down the street. Got it.
yeah. I mean, it's the thing is, this is also a post office, but it's in a mall, and I usually go there.
Oh yeah. The other place must be like a distribution hub or
To,
like something. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
probably. You know, and I'm still figuring out the pricing, but I have a feeling that whatever I price it at, the person that will see the most of it is a jeweler. Like I went to my jeweler this morning because I got the leopard bouquet, and I was like, fuck it, I'm feeling fancy. Let me browse some pretties. I fear I will commission shit, and it's gonna get pricey quick, so I have to adjust my pricing accordingly. I mean, I
Right.
don't think I will make a huge win or anything, but might as well. I'm already selected, but it's gonna be fun.
No, it's gonna be way cool. Like when do they actually like when do they do the judging and all that stuff?
Well, the exhibition opens, I think, September. the official date has not been set yet because they want to do like a whole promotion thing. They will print out catalogs. They are waiting for like people from America and like Argentina and Japan and China to send in work. So it would
Yeah, yeah.
require a while for that to get shipped, and the deadline is the 28th of this month. So you know they will probably have to wait through August. It's in September, and that's when the judging and all will be held. And my mom is preparing like it's my coronation. She's like, you have to make
What?
a hairdressing appointment. You have to go get your hair done. You have to figure out what you're wearing. You have to like she's treating this like it's a royal wedding, and I am both the
She's
bride and
proud of you. You know, I mean, good for her.
groom. That's what my mom does.
Well,
And the thing is, like, my mom's a witchy gal. She's just not aware of it. Like, I literally got the results and I texted them to you, and I went to call her because I know I can't just send her in the confirmation. She will startle and then nobody will
right,
have fun. And
right.
I'm like, Mom. And my mom was like, somebody must be talking badly about me. I feel like somebody's pouring hot water over me. And I'm like, yeah, people are swearing at you because you gave birth to me. I've been selected for an exhibition. And bless her, she has no idea how these things work. I told her, like, I have to figure out the pricing. And I already told you, like, most of the people who have been selected with me are like my professors and mentors from high school and university and shit. And she's
Super
like, well, can't
cool.
she's like, can't you ask them? And I'm like, Mom, we are competition as of right now. Like, I cannot.
Yeah,
I
for
fear,
sure.
I fear that it would be risky because, you know, of course they would tell me to price something lower than it's worth. I'm not
No, I mean, you'll figure it out.
even went to
You're
my
gonna sell it.
jewelers.
Yeah, you're gonna sell it.
The reason that I even went to the jeweler is I wanted to see how much the shit I want would cost, and it's a lot.
There you go. It's good to have goals. Good to plan ahead. There you go.
It turns out I have very expensive taste because out of the whole lineup, I picked the most
Don't we
expensive.
all? Don't we all?
Like, I found this, I think it's Labrador. Yeah, it's Labrador. It's the one that I want. It's a ring. It's this fucking big. It's bigger than my finger. I want it. And I'm like making a list of the stuff that I want. Like, I want a necklace as well and like earrings and shit for
Why
my
not?
collection. My
Sure. I mean, you
for
should.
for my heap, for my hoard, and it's still
My,
lower than what yeah, I mean, I
I'm
have
gonna,
the
and
thing
then I'm
is,
gonna hire a dragon to like guard it. Yeah.
I have Pixie. Like, she does a well enough job.
Yeah. You're actually you're already good.
She's worse than a dragon. But yeah, I mean, my jewelry boxes, because yes, there are several. Like, there's no chance at even like organizing them. There's so much, and the problem is I wear all of it because I'm greedy like that.
Yeah.
And and left over. I was like, what bizarre request can I utter that this man does not have in the store that would require additional shit? I'm like, do you have hair jewelry? He's like, no, but I know somebody who could make it. I'm like, yes.
There you go.
Like,
There
I
you go.
want, I really want something to like put in a braid or somewhere for
Yeah,
when I
because
actually
I
braid
mean,
my
when
hair.
you win, you're gonna be a fucking Viking. So yes, you need that.
I did not intend to ever like personally go to the exhibition because you know it's in my hometown,
You're
which
going. You're going.
I didn't want to. I was
You're
like, yeah,
going.
I'll probably have work, and then you know my mom will go and my
You,
family will go, and I
they'll
will
let you
just.
off work. You're going. You're going.
Now, given the circumstances, I fear I have to ride in on a horse. I fear I
Mhm.
have to stand in front of my painting like a cryptid,
That would be
like,
cool. That would be
and
way
just
cool.
pose in front of it.
No,
But
that you should definitely do that.
it Miles. My head will grow so comically large it will not fit into my apartment and I will have to move. So,
Eh.
I told you I thought the wrong painting got selected.
Yeah, I know, because the initial one you sent me was the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't remember what I named my paintings.
But yeah, you know what? I can see that. But both of those paintings are fire, so like it doesn't really matter which one won.
Y- Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not
it's
like one's better than the other one. They're both awesome. So
yeah, the second one is better just for the fact that it has like a gold leaf and it shows more technique and stuff. But yeah, I fear they have unintentionally helped me in establishing what really works in my stuff. So expect to see a lot more of those, I guess.
who knows?
We shall see.
Do what you like. Do what you like. All right, hold on. Let me see if it. Okay. Jen says she's logging in. I'm getting like all these like play-by-play updates from Jen from the fucking Jen.
Well, you're already used to that because whatever I do, you get updated.
Yeah,
You
for
never
sure.
ask for it.
Me too. Like honestly, both of you guys get updated like anything I do, so it kind of already works out,
Yeah, but my updates are quite often bizarre. Like this morning, you woke up to a message of me buying a leopard bouquet.
which is fun. I mean, like if I woke up to a message like of you not buying a leopard bouquet, then I would be concerned.
Yeah, I went to the flower shop because I was going to a housewarming thing for my friend. She invited me. The thing is, she's been living there for 2 years. I just simply couldn't go. Like we hang out a lot. It's just I've never went to her house. And oh, good
Here she
evening.
comes.
Hi,
Hi.
guys. Oh, I like your braids, Anna.
Thank you. My hair
She's
is
gonna. Yeah,
ew.
she was just talking about buying jewelry to put in her braids. So there you go.
That would be so powerful. I love this idea.
I might have an incoming quantity of money that I intend to spend on jewelry.
Ah,
But
I love this.
so
Yeah, I mean, because I think I told you she got accepted to like a fancy exhibition. So
Yes. When is it? When is it? When
September,
is it?
probably.
September.
yeah, so we can Learjet over to Bosnia. So we need to know.
Okay.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yes, we
But
do.
yeah,
I was going to be in Seattle, but Bosnia sounds nice to me. What's the
I mean,
weather
why
like
not?
in September in Bosnia?
hot as balls. Disgusting. You feel like you're wrapped in a warm, wet blanket.
So
So
here,
like
It
yeah,
humid.
same
Yeah,
here.
that's like
Yeah.
even Florida is like that too, still in September.
Yeah, it's very particular. It's not enjoyable. I stepped out today, I was boiling, my ears were sweating. I came to my friend's house and I was like, turn on the AC, I beg of you. But yeah,
Oh my gosh. So
it's
what have
gonna
you
be
guys
fun.
talked about? Did you guys talk about anything very important besides hair jewelry?
I would
That's
just
important.
we just talked about our days so far. We didn't want to get too deep into anything until you talked about camping and I just watched
Leopard
Obsession.
bouquets.
So
Oh yeah.
which you guys should wow. Wow.
Wait, so what did you finish watching? What's
Obs-
Obsession?
obsession.
All
Obsession.
I think about is that perfume from the 80s. So what is Obsession? Is it
Oh,
a
obsession.
episode?
Yeah, I know. I think didn't they make that for dudes? I feel like I used to
They
wear
made it
that.
for every gender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to wear Obsession and what were the other ones? They were all Calvin Klein.
Eternity, Obsession.
Eternity,
But it wasn't
Obsession,
Eternity
and
yeah, they were
then
different. You're right.
Escape. Escape is the
Wow.
one I used
That's
to.
what you want to
Yeah,
get out of a date,
yeah.
apparently. I never have heard
That's
of
what. Yeah,
Escape.
Escape was awesome. No,
Drakkar Noir. Remember
Never.
Drakkar
Never.
Noir?
I would not let that touch my body. Let's see. All the other dudes were wearing Drakkar Noir, and I was like rocking the Calvin Klein. So there you go.
Oh, AJ answered the question. Thank you, AJ. It was a jump scare movie. I just watched Obsession too. Okay.
Oh, AJ, did
streaming
you like
service?
it?
Yeah.
Did you like it? It's on Dopey. I mean, you can rent it anywhere or whatever, but it's on Dopey. What's it called? The
Prime?
NBC thing.
Oh,
Nah.
Peacock.
Peacock, which
Ooh.
I did not realize that I had. But turns out my sister watches shit on there. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna like
Wow.
Obsession's on there, and so is Nosferatu. So I'm like, all right,
Ooh.
cool.
Oh, wow.
We'll watch both of those.
Oh my God, that sounds really great. Yeah, I have 2 reasons to check it out too. I just was on Twitter and oh my God, this is so off the topic of whatever, like woo stuff. It's so
We have no
2D.
topic. Yeah.
Well,
there are no
okay,
topic.
but this guy was like, there's all of our smart televisions have like 10 presets that like defaults that are meant for people in Costco or Best Buy to go, yes, I got to get this screen that you're supposed to reset the minute you get home because they're blasting you with like Blu-ray. They're taking a picture of your screen every 4 seconds. There's like this, all of these different settings. So I went through and I redid our smart TVs. That's why I was so delayed. I was like, okay, this will only take me a minute. I'm like, where
Guess
the
who
fuck
doesn't
is
have
this?
any smart TVs?
I didn't buy them. This is Doug.
On purpose.
I'm sorry, Doug. I threw you under the bus, and you're on a road
I
trip
don't
now.
I'm
with
still
Doug.
rocking 52-inch plasmas that I bought like 10, 15 years
I
ago, and they
wish-
still work great.
I'm really glad for you.
Ain't
but,
one of those motherfuckers hooked up to the internet. So
Yeah. So
There's not a singular TV beside me. Like the designated TV spot is this. There is no television. Once I borrowed
so
a TV
nice. Yeah.
because I had like a gathering of friends and we wanted to play Stray, the PS game with the
Yeah.
cat with the
Yes,
backpack.
I know it is.
And
It's a cat one.
I borrowed a TV, I borrowed a PlayStation. We were gonna play, and then my cat freaked out because we realized she had never seen a television before. And we were like, yeah, party's off. We are having it elsewhere. And TV has
for sure.
been in my house ever since.
Oh my God. Well, but you use your computer and you watch stuff on your computer, right? No?
I have a work computer. I don't have I have a laptop. It's here. It's been here for 5 years. I use my
With dust.
tablet. And even then, like I watch stuff on my phone because the thing is, whenever I watch something, I'm watching 5% and hearing everything else because I usually paint or do something.
At the
So
same time, yeah.
yeah, so like me watching a movie, the only way you will really get me to like watch a movie is
Mhm.
if it's immaculate and I drop the thing that I'm doing, or if I'm in the cinema. Otherwise,
Oh, I
no.
love cinema. Yeah. That's the way to
I
watch
just
it.
like that you have your TV nook is full of books.
I do
So,
too. It's fantastic. It's
much
powerful
better.
Yeah.
magic right there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because I call this the library, not because there's a lot, there's many more up there. But my cats, whenever I sleep a little longer, they're like knocking stuff off the shelf, and I'm like, oh, they're checking out books again. So,
They're so
that's
passive
a
aggressive.
they're hungry. They act like they've never eaten ever, not once in their life. So Cecilia sometimes, and she's the fat one, which
Oh,
surprises me. She can even get up there. Like she jumps to this shelf, and that's where my glasses are, and
that's
like
pretty
some of my,
nimble.
and she gets there and she takes my glasses and she knocks them over. She sees I'm not waking up. She goes to the jewelry. She starts knocking off necklaces and stuff.
Damn.
That's so sassy. Yeah, Opal, who's my graduate student daughter's cat, Opal. He's like bluish gray. He's a Korat, which is like a Turkish breed that usually has another one, and they bond, and they're like bonded for life. So he'll pick a favorite person in the family and he'll bond with them. And he is like inseparable. So he's kind of freaking out because it's just me and him right now for a couple days until we fly to Seattle to meet the rest of the gang. And he's just like a little unsettled, but he's a ground hugger. Like he's really old. I think he's like 18 years old. I think my graduate student daughter's about to be 23. So yeah, I think he's 18. But he has epilepsy, but he stays on the ground, and he won't jump up on things. So I'm always kind of surprised when, other people come over. I'm like, bring your cats. And they jump up on the counters and everything. And I'm like, oh, I should make it baby proof up there. So he can't, he does do passive aggressive things though, because he like masks, he looks like a shadow in certain lighting because he is this like bluish gray, absorbs the sun, I swear. And so if he wants to be fed or he wants attention and he's not getting it, you'll like almost trip over him and almost step on him because you're like, oh my God, I didn't see you. So sometimes you'll hear oh my God, Opal. And then he'll run past or whatever. But he came with the name Opa from the pet rescue. And my daughter, my graduate daughter, she said, Opa was sad. That was before he had a family and he was abandoned with his mama cat. He was just a kitten in a garage. I mean, who sells their house and abandons their cat and kitten in there? But anyway, so she said that
assholes than you would think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. So she changed his name to Opal and just added the L, and then he became Opal Storm because everybody thought he was a girl, and Broom was like, he's a boy, and everything. So anyway, now he's Opal Storm.
Yeah, it's like when your pet behaves a certain way, it sort of sets this expectation for other pets. And with me, what comes to mind is dogs. We had a dog. It was like a rescue from the police force. It was a Belgian Malinois. It's huge dog.
Yeah, those are big dogs, right?
And they're very like they have a lot of energy. And the thing is, I remember playing with it, but like I don't remember a lot of aspects about the dog itself. And I'm used
You
to
could probably ride that thing around like a horse.
Like I've seen them jump out of helicopters. They are not. Whenever I hear like somebody who's not the extreme outdoorsy type, I'm like, no, not the Malinois. Like that's animal abuse. That thing needs space. That thing needs exercise. Otherwise, it will tear up the house.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was dog sitting for a friend, and I had Cecilia. I didn't have Pixie. I just had one cat. And she had this like tiny poodle looking thing. And I was looking after it for like 2 or 3 days. And I took it outside. We went on a walk. It was fun. We went home and I'm just waiting for the thing to, start cleaning itself because my cats do. And I was looking
You'll be
at
waiting a long time.
Yeah, I was just looking at it like, come, wash, do something. And then, I forgot that it's not something that dogs do. A dog will not just give himself a bath once over with it. And Cecilia does it all the time. Like she overgrooms herself. And I'm just here like calling my friend like, hey, listen, the dog is fine. Just when is bath time? And she's like, what do you mean? When will it say? What do you mean? When will it itself clean the day? And she's like, you have to do that. I have to lick the dog? No, you have to wash it. Oh, okay. And then I proceeded to bathe the dog, but like shampoo and everything, not just, rinse of the paws. I was in there. I was conditioning. I was going to the pet store to buy shampoo because ain't no way in hell. Like,
oh my God, that's so funny. You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And dogs,
I wouldn't know how to take care of a cat. So, I mean, I get it. Well, I mean, I've lived with cats
They're
before.
so
Briefly.
self-sufficient. Yeah, they
Yeah.
really
You
are
know.
pretty independent.
I had a girlfriend that
But
had
their
a
cues are
cat, and
different.
then like my
Yeah.
buddy Brian had a cat, and I stayed with him for a while before I left
Yeah.
LA, and like so, I mean, I've lived with them briefly, but like
Yeah.
not, like I don't know what they're doing,
Yeah, I mean, my mom still to this day, like, she will go to the pet store and she knows what I buy. Like, she's
Mm-hmm.
seen their toys, she's seen their litter box, the things like their supplements that I use because for some reason, I mean, my cats were strays. I took them off the streets. They weren't
Oh.
even a shelter. I got Pixie at a grocery store because she snuck in
Oh.
behind the cash register and she was ripping up receipt paper. I just I was like, put her in the bag with my groceries, please. Like, I'll take her. And I'm for some reason feeding them like they're competing, like they're competition cats. So I have a lot of supplements, a lot of this, a lot of that. But every once in a while, when she's at the store, she will see a cat object that she's not familiar with, and
Mm-hmm.
she, do they need this? Is this required? And sometimes she will see me feed them, and they will cause a scene after 15 minutes because it's cats. And she's like, did you actually feed them? They seem hungry. Mother, they are liars. They are the liars and
They
they are
are.
deceivers.
They are deceivers.
I felt bad because I was like, oh, well, maybe they're still hungry. You know how you eat and you still feel hungry afterwards. One time, Pixie got into like the dry food dispensary box.
Yeah.
I keep the lid sealed tight. It's very,
Yeah,
locked,
yeah.
but somehow she got into it. And the whole night from like 10 p.m. when I went to bed to 10 a.m. the next morning, the only thing they did was
No.
eat, shit, throw up, come back to eat.
Oh,
The
that's
house
so
was
awful. Oh
I,
my
re-
God.
you know,
they ate
I
up.
actually remember when that happened now because you texted me. She sends me
I
this
was
picture of like it looks like
Oh,
like I'm
you
just like
don't?
I'm like cat food everywhere, and it's just
Yeah.
like
Like in different stages of being digested and then
no,
out.
no, it wasn't gross. It
Oh,
was
okay.
just like it was just food all over the place, and it was like I was like, what
yeah,
the? I was like, what? Did the pantry explode? What happened?
they have created areas. They have like they never do their business outside of the litter box, but they have a designated vomiting area. So that was
That's very convenient. And if you put a towel there preemptively, I bet you they'll just do it right outside, right beside it, but not on the towel.
Well, Jen, there's rules. I mean, come on.
the
Opal is,
thing.
yeah.
The
No,
thing is,
please.
no noise can startle me. Like if I'm asleep, I'm asleep. But whenever I hear
Me
that
too.
particular sound, a
Oh, I
cat,
know. It's just you're awake. I was up at 5 in the morning the other day. I hear it from down the hall and I'm like, ha, ha, ha. And I went, oh, I'm done because I know it's there. So I got to clean it up. And if I have to clean it up, I'm wide awake for the day. Oh
Mhm.
my God, that was me yesterday. Opal is, because he's old, like, and he's epileptic. So I don't know if it's his medication or what, but like about once a week, he's kind of what we call a volcano where it's just like you think that our dog Cooper pooped and it's like not, it's Opal. And he'll think he went in the litter box and then it's just like this poop volcano. And I am hoping to hell that it doesn't happen on Tuesday when I'm on an airplane with him because he's flown a lot with me a few times. Let's say that he's gone from Seattle to Colorado, Colorado to Orlando, Florida, and then Florida back to Colorado. So this will be his return to Seattle. And I have it timed so that we're going in at 6 in the morning so that because I'm a little bit anxious because our flight from Orlando to Denver, I mean, this guy never would have known because Opal is so quiet. I bathe him. He has a haircut. So his dander is at a minimum because I'm allergic to him. So I'm aware of like people's allergies, but he's got his ticket. He's in my footwell. He's being really quiet and asleep. And then he says, "Oh, you have a carrier. Is that a dog or a cat?" The guy sits next to me, and I said, "It's a cat." And he goes, my throat is closing up or whatever. And he's having this like full on tantrum. And then he stands up and he goes, "I
calm
can't.
down.
I'm so
dude.
allergic to cats." And I said, "Yeah, I'm empathetic because I'm allergic to cats too." And he gets up and he's like got everybody on the that section all freaked out. I've got to switch seats. I'm gonna die or whatever. And the flight attendant was like calm and cool. Said, you are one of the people that you asked for this seat because it opened up and you wanted to be a little bit further up toward the doors. So here you are and you got the seat. So what are you going to do about it?" And then this mom stood up and she switched around things. She switched around things and I just stayed there with Opal. And so I'm really anxious because I've never ever had anything happen. I mean, at all. Unless I had to dose Opal with his medicine before we got on a plane, then he felt a little sick. But even the person next to me did not know what was going on. Just me, I was handling it. So I'm hoping it goes really smoothly because I don't have to medicate him until we've touched down in Seattle. So hopefully, and then I'm manifesting that nobody's next to me because it's so early, like half the airplane's empty right now. So I'm just hoping that sticks. And I know it's going to be so fucking early, but I'm just hoping that it's enough that we have a really smooth experience. But we'll see. You don't know.
Anna Maria, check this out. This is where Jen's headed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that is about 20 minutes from my house. That's in Fremont.
There is a troll that they've built underneath the bridge.
Because why not?
Because why not, right?
The Fremont troll.
Because
and
his eye
is the hubcap of a Volkswagen Bug.
There's I don't know if I have a picture of the
because why not?
I don't know if I have a picture of the Volkswagen, but he's eating a Volkswagen.
Yeah, it's under his hand.
Yeah.
I was gonna say his paw, but his hand. And then people like skateboard off of him, but it's underneath the bridge. That's in Seattle. And then do you have a picture of you at the Salish Falls or at Twin Peaks Tweeds?
Who you talking to here?
Mm-hmm. Did I send you coasters? I got the most beautiful coasters.
I never went inside.
No, they're not from Tweets. I was at a witch, Pacific Northwest. I'm just so glad to be going back because it's a little bit, I'm going to miss Colorado, but it's a little bit more watery energy. You can imagine there's the bay and then there's the ocean, there's lakes everywhere, and it's much more witchy. And so we have like witch markets often. And at one of the witch markets, I got these coasters. They were like these porcelain coasters that this artist painted and put in like a kiln to kind of fix the finish, I guess. But they were all Twin Peaks themes. And so I just love them so much. But one's him eating a piece of like cherry pie in tweeds. One's the tweeds sign. There's like 4 different icons.
There I am at the waterfall. Twin Peaks.
Like a third of it is like, or 2/3 is like blacked out. Wait, make it bigger. Like, can you scoot it over? Because I can see you, but I can't see the falls.
Oh, it's just kind of over my shoulder.
It is. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
I'll get a better picture.
Did you hike down? Because it's a nice hike.
I hiked all the way there from Tessa's house.
Oh my God.
I walked all the way from, That's
good exercise.
I was like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like 121 or whatever?
Yeah, a highway 101? No.
The one that goes right through
Nobody calls
Snoqualmie.
it by the highway number though. Everybody calls it by like the local road name. Did you do Mount Si or Little Si?
I didn't hike a fucking mountain, Jen. I walked from like Tessa's condo to the waterfall.
Well, Little Si,
which was a long fucking way, by the way.
Oh,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, this is actually like
So how'd
This
you
is
get
really
back? Did you just
far.
call her and say, "Hey,
I
can you
called
pick
a
me up?"
fucking Uber because I was like, all right, I already did this.
Yeah. There
I think
Enough.
I went on this
yeah.
blind date a
It
long
was it
time.
was cool that like
Yeah.
that's as much as I hike.
Oh yeah, there it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. And then
It's
that lodge is really pretty. The
yeah.
lodge has the really good breakfast.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
like known for its oatmeal, and you think, "Oh, oatmeal, whatever," but it's like the best oatmeal I've ever had. It's so good.
Anna Maria, if you would like to just a bit of trivia for you, I've been drunk as hell in this building. Just letting you know.
I have not been because I always go for breakfast, so
We used to
I'm
go
sober.
there's a if you go up here and you go up in the attic, there's a bar.
Yeah.
There's like an
I think
attic
there
bar
still is though.
that
I don't
looks
think they've
out.
changed that.
It looks out over the falls.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then across from the falls, I mean, the falls are so much
but the
higher than the
breakfast
photos
there
show it.
is legit. Like we
It's
went and
to
had
die
that
for.
breakfast buffet. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, are you
Is that where
kidding?
you stayed, Jesse, when you were in town?
No, I didn't stay. I
Okay.
stayed. I always stayed at Tessa's house.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, that's great. Yeah, because across
Yeah,
from
yeah,
there, they
yeah.
have all these
Right here.
old power plants. I think some of them are mothballed, the older ones that are little.
Oh yeah,
But
you can kind of see some of that stuff.
there's
In
definitely
not in
some
these
ghost activity
pictures.
in that area.
But
Oh, I
yeah.
miss it so I just miss it so much. And I'm working on this book because I have one season of the podcast that was Cascadia, and I still do episodes when I like, oh yeah,
which is awesome.
it's gonna be so fun. But I'm
By
gonna
the by.
finish writing the book, bringing it together on this trip there. So it's like perfect because I can hike stuff, and just to be in it is I don't know, it just makes it so much easier than writing about it from far away. I just cannot wait. There's a magic to it. And I'm
Mm.
afraid that I'm going to get sucked in and I'm not going to be able to leave it again. But I will. I know I will because my kids are in different places. They're in Colorado and Florida right now. So I'm like, I'll be moving about, but I cannot wait. I feel like I'm going to be even more psychic there because Colorado just broke open my third eye. It's been really crazy. And oh
Here,
my God,
look at how
Anna.
funny douchey I was. Look.
No,
Look at
I
this.
thought you were so sweet.
No wait, look.
I wish I could share.
Here I am trying to look cool in front of the roadhouse.
Oh, that the Roadhouse has good onion rings.
Oh,
I'm
I
trying to
know.
think of what they have there.
I left
You
my
look so
favorite.
mean.
I left my favorite scarf there.
You left it behind?
Yeah.
Did you go to the little there's a little, I think it's called Small Fries, that's just like across the street. It's this pink building
That's
that
funny.
has hamburgers. Did you do that?
No, I went there at night with Sears. So I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, you were very social while you were there. I think I only saw you a couple
I was
times.
a little butterfly. Yes.
Anna, not to turn it away from Jesse's trip to the Pacific Northwest, but I heard you had a dream. And then here I'm going, wait a second. This kind of lines up with what happened to me in a salt cave this week. That was like the most interesting experience I've had in a long time. So I want to hear about the dream if you're comfortable sharing it.
Yeah, I mean, I have no issue with sharing my dreams because, like, the thing is, I have a lot of, we call them sanovnik, which is basically like a book that helps you translate dreams. And I have three in
Oh,
Bosnian, I have like five in English, I have some in German. And the issue is that they're very, open to interpretation. One says that
yeah.
thing means this, the other says
I
it
mean,
means
yeah.
that. So I'm actually considering now, after I settle everything with the exhibition, going somewhere where a professional can, help me sort it out because it's not letting me go. Anyhow, it's very vivid, and the important thing is that you have the sense of smell. Like I could actually smell the stuff from the dream, and even when I was awake, it would not let me go for like hours. So I'm walking through a field. It's a perfect clearing in the woods. It's very, square. It sort of looks like those aerial views of like in New York and in Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
Field is empty and there's a very thick woodland surrounding it, and it's a battlefield. Everybody on the field is dead. There's bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies, and it's a war field, but it's not modern warfare. It's medieval looking. There's
Yeah.
horses, there's armor, there's swords, there's daggers, there's bows and arrows, and I'm there barefoot, intelligent even in my dreams, and wearing like a white linen dress, and I'm trying to cross the field whilst being sucked in blood and mud and everything, and you can smell the death and the metal and the smoke from the battlefield. And the further away from the starting point I get, I can make out like wolves at the edges of the field. And I got closer. They were not considering me at all because dinner's already been served and they are eating. But the thing is, they are sitting, they are eating as a wolf would eat, except they're sat on their butts. They have fucking bibs, like actual bibs, and a
That's
knife
the
and
part that's wild to me. It's like they're sitting there like with knife and fork. And
It's
shit.
very Aesop's. It's
Yeah.
very much Aesop's fables with the bib.
Oh, look at you.
I
Yeah,
know. I just wrote
that's
it down.
good. That's
And the
good.
thing is, like, you would assume that if somebody who's using a knife and fork is, cutting it and then taking it with their fork and eating it, no, they're just like poking around haphazardly and still eating like a wolf would with its mouth. Like the mouth is doing all the tearing up, but they're just randomly cutting places.
But that reminds me of a werewolf where it's a wolf and a man at the same time. That it's not just a wolf. It's like a wolf, because it's trying to do things like a man, like a human being. That's very
Yeah,
weird, interesting.
it was very weird, but it literally, the thing is, it's nothing about the wolf except the bib part and, the knife
Mm-hmm.
and fork gave werewolf
Yeah,
or
yeah,
clear
yeah. Yeah,
entity.
otherwise it was just straight wolf. And
It
then
was
what
straight
was the
wolf,
smell? What was the smell that stuck with you? The smell of blood? Was
blood,
it like that
like
irony blood?
the irony blood with like, mud and the dampness of a forest and the
Yeah.
smoke because there were like still some fires lingering. So,
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and I was like, holy fucking shit, write that down.
Yeah.
And, I woke up. I wasn't scared. I
Mm-hmm.
could hear things, obviously, but it was like wood sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody died. Like there was no conversation, no nothing. And I don't even know why I was trying to cross. The thing is, I normally in my dreams I can see myself from like a certain perspective. This I
Oh,
could
you
just
do?
basically see my feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes I can, like mostly, like 99% of the time, like I have a third person view. This was very much like first person.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the linen and the bare feet and the mud and the blood that was basically everywhere. So, it was ridiculous. And it's that smell. And I went to shower and I went to
Mm-hmm.
change my bedding because I woke up in a cold sweat and I'm not gonna lay back down in that.
Yeah.
Just it was 2 3 hours I could still smell it and I fell back asleep, and even when I woke up afterwards I could still smell it.
Did you look at the
And the
clock?
wolves with the bibs.
Did you look at the clock when you woke up to see
I
what
I don't have
time it was?
clocks.
Okay.
3
I don't.
a.m.
Yeah,
3
like probably
a.m. I
probably
guarantee you.
at time. I sent Jesse a voice note as soon as I woke up from the
Yeah.
dream. I was like, holy fucking shit. It was probably around midnightish, maybe 1 a.m.
Yeah.
That sort
Because
of.
here's what's crazy is thank you for
I
sharing it
wonder if
with
I can
us.
find it.
Because and
Yeah.
two things. Number one, Anna, he's been on my show before. His name was Daniel Rekshan, Rekshan.
Oh,
He
you should
has
talk
an
to this
app.
dude.
He has an app called Dreamwell, or you can look him up in his website called D-SETI, D, capital D with a hyphen SETI, SETI. And he has been collecting, I think he has 250,000 dreams. And he finds, he's been looking at dream stuff, and he's been trying to bring it all together. He is intentionally not using LLMs or AI at all. It's human beings that are submitting their dreams and things like that. And he is incredible at what he does, but he's getting a different take on things. So it's like when you were saying that you've tried to look up things in different books and it hasn't resonated. He also does sessions, and he will hear you about he'll listen to your dream, and he will give you what he's getting from it. And it is so eye-opening. So I offer that in love, and I'll put his name in the chat. And then the second thing is, exactly when you were having that dream, my neighbor over here on this side of me, her name is Terry, and she invited me to go to this salt cave to do this breathing. It's like this kind of very aggressive kind of breathing therapy thing, and it's a group thing. And I had been working in the land up at my daughter's house here, and I was like, do I want to go? But I didn't want to bail on her because we're not that good of friends that, like, you know what I mean? It's like I didn't want to bail on this new friend. So she was doing the driving, so I had no excuse. And I'd already paid for the session, and she'd paid for hers. So she told me, I said, what do you wear for a salt cave breathing thing? And she goes, white. You wear white. And I said, I don't have anything white. Like, I literally don't have anything
Neither.
white. Yeah.
That's the thing that startled me, because I do not own anything else.
That was thing number one that actually really resonated with me. The second thing is, so I go to this thing with Terry, and what we were doing, we were taught how to breathe, and you're inhaling and exhaling without any gap. And that sounds like it's so easy, but it's actually very physical. It's it's very much in your core, and you have to stay present for every single breath. And the woman that was leading us through it, this coach, she was saying that it's like, she had this metaphor. We started off in a meadow, a grass meadow. So that resonated with your dream. We start off there, and you go from nose breathing, and then with her direction, you start going to the mouth breathing. And she said it has to be so loud that you can hear yourself breathe. I mean, you're breathing so loud with no gap. You feel like you're going to pass out. Remember, I'm in Denver, so it's at altitude. And then you're in this salt cave. And so your body's really adjusting very fast to the conditions. The salt, which is kind of your body is already kind of flushing out toxins, but then you're aggressively taking in air and exhaling this air. And then she said that we start off in the meadow. Then she said we were going on a journey up the peak of a mountain. And then she would, the music slightly changed, and she was directing us. And then sometimes if we gave her permission, we had these eye masks on so we couldn't see our neighbors, so that it was a very confidential kind of feeling moment. You felt very safe. And but she would sometimes touch your chin if she wanted you to open up your mouth more. She kept saying it's like you're biting an apple. You're biting an apple. That's how big your mouth has to be to take a proper breath and exhale. And so that struck me with the wolves eating the meat, because it's like you're kind of eating that meat. But then at the top of the mountain, that she said, we get more and more aggressive with our breathing. The rate is faster. And you get to the top, and she said, and then we're going to take a cathartic exhale. She said, it is an exhale like your last exhale on earth before, as you've died. And she said, it's going to be powerful. And she said, it's powerful medicine. It's the culmination of all the work that you've done in the 25 minutes prior. And you may be kind of knocked sideways by what comes out of you. I've heard everything at the top of the peak. Like, it could be, fuck you, to somebody specifically. It could be that you're bawling your face off and can't stop and you don't know why. It could be that you have a moment with a loved one that's crossed over. She just didn't want us to be surprised by it. So in the orientation, she kind of went through some of the scenarios. So we went through the experience, and at the very beginning, we're going up the mountain, as she said. And I already, with the between the salt cave and breathing and being present, I felt all the loved ones that had passed waiting for the 15 other people in the room, 14 other people, however many people. I could feel them just like this. It's like they were so excited for that moment when people were like, oh, they said we might have this experience at the top of the mountain. And so they were just like chomping at the bit. They were so excited to see their loved one and give them, a hug, or like they'll believe that the veil is thin enough to have this experience with me. And so it will be real for them and I'll be able to reach them. But I was already tapped into them right off the bat just because of the journey that I've been on. And so I was aware of that. And my dad came forward, even on going up the mountain. My dad, I have two dads, but one dad where we had a really healthy relationship on earth. And I knew he would come forward first, and he just gave me a big hug. And he's like, I just love you and I love what you're doing. And then my other dad, it's more complicated because he had sexually abused me. And I had kept my daughters away from him to most extent growing up. They could spend time with them, but and I never said it out loud why I did it, but I just was like, I don't want my daughters to have that hang up with their sexuality like I have because of that. And I made peace with him before he died, not him physically himself, but I made peace with him, our higher selves did. And I said, you may not know this, but I am working on, you need a karmic car wash before you go cross over, because I think that you know what you have done. And so if it helps you, it'll be there for you. So anyway, so he came forward and he's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I've already, said, I forgive you, but I'm like, we're good. The playing field is even. We're good. So that was the second thing that happened. And then at the top of the mountain, the entire cave, everybody's having their experiences. I mean, they were visceral for people. It was like guttural keening was happening all around me in different ways: joyful, painful, release, grabbing onto energies, like all the things in between. And what I got was, they said, take a breath. And they said, you're back in your mother's womb. Take a breath. You get a restart. And so, and why you get a reset from being in your mom's womb, because my mom chain smoked when she was pregnant with me. And so I was choked off with this shitty air in the womb, and they gave me a physical reset. The other thing, I was like blown away because I felt this huge pressure on my lungs, like someone was pushing really hard into my rib cage. And I know something was healed in my body. And then the last thing that happened was this crowd of people came towards me, and they were all different ages and different genders and everything. And they felt kind of familiar, but I didn't know who they were. And they were like, they just wanted to encircle me and give me a big group hug. And that's when they were like, you crossed us over. We're the people that you crossed over the last few years. And I said, but I didn't do it for this. I didn't do it to get a hug from you or for anything. That's not why I did it. They said, we know, but we want to do this for you. We just wanted to say hello and thank you. So we just had this big moment. And then the room started kind of calming down as people were getting more, I guess, acclimated, familiar with these big sensations they were getting with, and some people were, they shared later that it was people that they had different relationships with that had crossed over, that reached them and things like that. So it was like this, there was no smell because it's a salt cave. And I think that, my nose was probably crusted in salt, but I was like, so that didn't relate to the blood, but these are people that died. And then the last thing that happened in my experience before we then had the kind of the quiet time where you kind of sat in the cave and listened to music and started coming back to yourself in the present, was this big man. He's this Hispanic man who was about 27, 28, the age of my older daughter. And he wrapped me in a big bear hug. And he said, thanks for believing that I was worthy of crossing over, because I really didn't think I was worthy of it. And this young man was a young man that came to me about a year and a half ago. I was really sick. My husband was out of town. It was in the middle of a storm, and there was this pounding, 4 knocks on my door. And I wouldn't have answered it, except for I was thinking, my daughter up in the mountains, what if they lost power and they're coming for, can we just stay over with our cats, right? So I thought, well, I better peek out on the porch. And there was a soul, a spirit there. And he said, can you cross me over? I hear you cross people over. And I said, well, it's inappropriate that you knocked on my door in the middle of the night. You scared me, and you scared my cat, and my dog slept through it. So he's kind of a worthless watchdog. But I said, so that was inappropriate. I'm really sick. I have a really bad cold. And I said, but can you just hold on? And, maybe when I'm feeling better, yes, I can cross you over. And he goes, and you know who I am? I said, you murdered Brandy. And he said, I did. And I said, did you say you're sorry to her? And he said, that's why I died so young. So I had been on this hike earlier in the week, and this young woman, very young, like 13, 14, she reached out to me. And so this was her murderer, one of them. It was a gang murder. It was brutal. And but that was my condition. I said, if you crossed over and you said you're sorry to her, and he said, that's why I died so soon, so I could make peace with her. And but will you cross me over? And I said, I will. Yeah, when the time's right. So then I went back to sleep, and like 2 weeks goes by. And I mention him because that was the last part of my journey in the salt cave, was this young man. But 2 weeks later, maybe 3 weeks, I went, it was in the middle of the day, like right now. And I went, oh my God, I forgot about him. Oh my God, he's just been standing on my front porch. So I ran outside, and I do all of this work in my sleep. So I didn't think I could do it in the day, but I'm like, I just got to go with it. Fake it till you make it. So I run out on the front porch. I'm like, my neighbors are probably thinking, what is crazy Jen doing now? But I'm like, I think you're still here on the porch, and I'm so sorry I forgot about you. I am so sorry. And I am here with you, and here we go. We're going to just cross over together. And I said, and I need an indication because I can't see you. And maybe like you could kick up a breeze. And I hear in my ears, I hear, there is no time over here. Thanks for remembering me. And then there was this huge breeze that just kicked up all these leaves around me, spun around and left. And I knew he was okay, and he had crossed over. So this is the young man that at the end of my salt cave journey, he's this giant man, and he just bear hugged me, and he just held me to his chest and just held me like a kid with his mama. You know what I'm talking about? And just like wrapped me up in that love. And he was just like, thanks for thinking I was worth crossing over, because I didn't think I was. And thank you. And I went, I didn't do it for this hug. And he's like, I'm like the others. I just wanted to reach out to you. And I said, well, I'm going to accept it. So he gave me a hug, and he got me laughing. And that was the end of my experience. But the things that like connect with what was happening to you on the other side of the world, the white cloth, and then the blood. You're surrounded by blood. Yeah.
There is another connection. It's not related to the dream per se, but
Yeah.
my town, it's the only town in the world, I think, that has natural salt lakes. It's a lake, it's not an ocean, and it's a
Really?
mining town. The town is sinking because of the salt caves and the salt tunnels. And our salt is basically, you can get it anywhere in the world because, it's not Himalayan, it's regular old table salt. It's not sea salt, so it doesn't have, that sort of a reputation. But yeah, my hometown produces, or used to produce, they still do, salt in absurd quantities. And like I've went to grocery stores in the world. I saw it in Sweden. Like
Oh
I
my
saw it in
God.
Norway. I saw it in Germany. Like I've seen our salt sold everywhere basically.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You
That,
voice messaged me Tuesday at 12:28 on the 14th of July.
yeah.
So 777.
Ah, which is 21, which is 3, which is communication. It's all like communication with the dead, actually.
Sevens are important.
And then, yeah.
28 is, 7, 14, 21, 28.
And then in
The
the
same thing too.
meantime,
Not
I
that
would,
that's not when you had the dream. That's when you message. That's when you sent me
and then
from the
in the
timestamp.
and you guys know I've been going hard on the Morgan. And so I had just been reading. I go to bed after the salt experience. My husband, he's very grounded in earth energy. And so he's like, how did it go? And I'm like, you wouldn't have liked it. No bueno for you. No bueno. But it was magical. But I know that it's wasted on him. And I said, I just need to go on my own and just kind of journal it so I don't forget it. But then let's watch something. And so we did. So
You
then
were in an actual cave, though, right?
well, it's built. Like it's not actually where they're mining it in Colorado. It's this place. It's a business, and they have like they put the entire thing is encased in salt. So they're
Okay.
making it themselves,
I
and
just
there's
wanted
like
to.
these zero
I just wanted
gravity
to
things. But then
understand the space.
but what was
Okay.
funny is I came home and I don't think I have the page marked and it's fine. I don't have to read it. I could paraphrase it. But I came home and I was like, after I journaled the experience so I wouldn't forget it, I opened up my book and I turned it to the page that I'm on. And it was the funniest story because they're talking about preparing for a group ritual that honors and connects to the Morrigan, who's like the triple goddess of Celtic lore, and I've really connected with her in the last couple years. But what was funny is she had this friend who's out and she had to take all this white cloth because it had to be appropriate for the battle and the warriors that were bloody and things. So she was taking this white cloth and she's tie dyeing it red. And the neighbors were like, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I'm just getting ready for Halloween." And it's like the middle of the summer. They're like, "What the fuck?" But that reminded me of your dream as well. Cause Terry's like, "Oh, well, you wear white when you're doing something spiritual. You wear white. Otherwise, you could attract some bad energy." I'm like, I don't have any white, so I can't. So I just came as
Yeah, I'd
wearing
be
something
fucked.
comfortable. Yeah.
There's
And
I don't
there's
know
another
anything that's white.
actually because today like I was calling my mom and she was with my dad's side of the family and I'm calling her my aunt is there like there's people there
yeah.
and people ask my mother to be sort of like a medium for me because they do not enjoy speaking directly to me most of the time because I say stuff that they don't like hearing.
Oh my
And
God.
my mom is like, yeah, she's been fine, she's been painting and working, but she does dress like a medieval peasant a lot lately. And then later, we speak, and she's I forgot about it because I had places to be, and then she's like, "Shall I fetch thee your white linens, my lord?" And I'm like, there's a lot of parallels going with it, but yeah, I do have an absurd amount of linen in my wardrobe. None of it is white though, and
I
the thing is,
yeah. No, please, please. I'm dying.
the thing is like I- in the past few days because I have a lot of stuff to do with my hair and I'm just complaining because there's a lot of it naturally and a lot of my girlfriends because House of the Dragon is popular again, thus is
Yes,
Game
it
of
totally
Thrones and
is.
stuff, and my friends are like, oh, why don't you do like hair tutorials? And I'm like, nobody's gonna do them. Like it would just be content for you to watch as I struggle for 3 hours braiding my hair because
Could you
I have
imagine that shit?
Oh my,
I
I
heard
would watch it.
the fucking like
I would watch
dun
it and then just
dun
start
dun dun
cutting my
dun
hair shorter and
dun dun
shorter.
dun, and like there she is like giving hair tutorial. That's not you. I don't
it's
see that.
it's 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 absurd. And the thing
Dun
is, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm just going off on it. I'm sectioning it randomly. I have no idea. And I was just laughing, like, imagine me. after my mother has called me Pennywise
Oh my lord.
and asked if she, yeah, because my mom is very particular. Like whenever I'm about to do something, she asks for results. She's like, send me a picture. Whenever I have to go like to a dinner and I have to dress up, she's like, oh, let me see what you're wearing. Just, not because she's controlling. It's like a bonding moment to her.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had informed her that I dyed my hair, and I sent her she's like sent a picture. She wanted to see how it turned out. And she's calling me, she's laughing, she's howling, like she cannot catch a breath. And I'm like, oh God, what's coming now? Because volcanic mothers, you can always
Yes.
tell that they're about to say
You
something so vile that
yes.
will scar you for
Oh
life.
lord. Oh
And
my
she's like,
lord.
you look like the new Pennywise. And I'm like,
What? No, 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 no,
yeah.
no, no. Oh my god. These
And
mothers.
she,
Oh
and then
my
she sent a
god.
picture, and the thing is, it's very accurate. But yeah,
No,
so
it's
I'm
not.
imagining myself. The color is spot on. The color match is spot on. I tell you, it's the exact shade of Pennywise, whatever the hell. Anyhow, I'm thinking of me like just showing up with like linens and like a Targaryen braid, even though
Oh, I
anything more.
love that actually. That feels powerful. I wanted to ask you though, if it's okay, like the wolves are kind of interesting to me, especially was your mom with your dad's side of the family when you were having that nightmare? And I'm wondering,
No,
no, I just was wondering,
no,
is there any like family relation or family like crest or family lore about wolves with your family and magic with your family? Or in
not.
your part of the world, is there any lore about wolves? Because I feel like it'd be different than here, which is very Native American tied to.
The thing is, the things are very much different here. The thing is,
Mhm.
I have a family history with wolves because when I was going to school as a kid, I saw a wolf and I was like, Mom, there's a wolf outside. And they're not really common. They exist in
Yeah,
mountains, but not in like a rural village. That thing was very lost. It's like seeing an elephant in the street. Like it
yeah,
does not belong. And I was like, Mom, there's a wolf. She's like, no, it's probably a dog. And I'm like, no, Mom, it's a wolf. And then my granddad had to like step out, and my dad was like on a UN peacekeeping mission in Africa. Like, so he was not there to do anything about it.
yeah.
Dad came and he was like, yep, that's a wolf. And I still had to go to school because, the Balkans. A lot of the times people will be like, oh, can you tell us about your struggles? No, I cannot because my family had it worse. I assure you, they do not let me
Just
complain.
just
Anyhow,
just dodge the wolf and like walk uphill in the snow both
No
ways.
kidding. It reminds
Yeah.
me
yeah.
of Doug in Alaska. So my husband in Alaska, they had wolves on their land, and the wolves would actually burrow underneath their house to have the pups. And he was the youngest of the kids, so they'd push baby Dougie underneath the house and they'd say, count the pups, count the pups. Is the mama okay? So he'd be out there, and they were like family. And so when he and his
Mm,
brother were older and it got really cold in Alaska, they would sometimes sneak in a few wolves, and the wolves would come down to the room and
mm,
sleep on their beds. And so
mm,
and they like, people are not prepared for how big wolves actually are. They are not dogs. You can't even, like, a mix of a dog and a wolf would present more like a husky or something, but wolves are super tall and they're so
mm,
leggy. They're very long legged, and there's just a sharpness to them. They're so much larger than people can fathom unless they've seen them in real life. So to not take a kid seriously that's like, I saw a wolf, it's like, oh, it was probably a dog. It's like, it was a fucking wolf, you know.
mm.
It's a dire
Yeah,
wolf.
like
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely not that, but
yeah.
it's the thing with the mythology and even like deities and spiritual practices.
Yeah.
es- Still to this day, like if you go down the street, you have different people believing different things, and it's
Oh,
a variation on the topic, but it's very different.
yeah.
And the thing is, where we are located in the map of Europe, we're basically a melting pot of all sorts of different civilizations. To this day, you have several nationalities. That's why we have three
Ooh.
presidents. So,
Yeah.
it's always a mix. A lot of it has been essentially lost because it's not been recorded, and the only recordings that are still available are from like post Christianity, where this sort of pagan practice was looked down upon. So the sources are very unreliable. And
Yeah.
like I said, opinions vary now, today. If I go down the street and ask people about, those certain topics, especially then, like, we have a lot of things in common.
Mm-hmm.
For example, here in Croatia and Slovenia and Poland and those countries, we have a lot of things that are more common in Russia, but people brought it over, so it's very much a melting pot of all these
Ooh.
different. And
Mm-hmm.
as for Slavic mythology, it has a lot of parallels between both Norse mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology. There's a lot of crossover. It's just
Mm.
less detailed. And in terms of, here, the thing that stuck is not the deities, especially with like the uprise of religion and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. The thing that stuck is creatures, because to this day, you hear children with the creatures. They're like, behave, or Babaroga will come, and Babaroga and Baba Yaga are sort of, the same term. And I spoke to Jesse a couple of days ago about it. Like, we also have the vampire and the werewolf.
Oh, it's the
But
Baba Yaga.
here,
Oh.
you don't become, like, according to our beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
you die and then you become the thing. You are not turned. There's no neck biting. There's no,
Baba Yaga.
thing about it. And it's still very differently regarded. The creature stuck more than
Mm-hmm.
the deity did, because it's carried over in folklore and like oral
Yeah.
tradition. So as for wolves, there's not really any connection with my family, with me personally. I
Mm-hmm.
have not, consumed any sort of media that would even
Right.
imply. The only thing, but I think that was like yesterday, I sent him like a song cover. It was a medieval version of Shakira's "Hips Don't Lie." I found it very,
Which
very.
was great, by the way. It
It's
was
That's
it's
that
so
was
fantastic.
random.
that was awesome.
It's it was a medieval tavern remix, and they do quite a lot, because now I paint, or like I do beadwork and stuff,
Yeah.
and behind me is like a bard version of a popular song, and I'm just vibing. So there's not really a huge connection. There's not really
Yeah.
a major crossover. There hasn't been any sort of event that would inspire this. My days have been
Yeah.
pretty, regular and grounded in the average world of the normal human being who goes to work and does not concern themselves with spiritual practices.
The
But
normies.
yeah, because I was busy and I was tired. But I feel like whatever it was, whatever it meant, it was some sort of message,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it implied. And the only thing that I could make out that resonated with me was similar to what you said. It's not necessarily a shapeshifter aspect with
Mm-hmm.
a werewolf, but it's a savage. A wolf cannot be savage. It's an animal. It does as it naturally would. But it's some sort of like beastly animalistic thing trying to make itself more civilized by using cutlery. It's
Mm-hmm.
sort of some sort of like mask or charade. That's the only thing that
I
resonated. But
feel like
the
that's what Egger's werewolf is going to be, because he's
wolves
not going
with
with the
bibs.
common tropes. Yeah, no, not that, not the bib part, but you know what I mean. Like I feel
Mm,
like it's going to be more of the Slavic, like that you described to me.
Well,
Because that makes total sense.
yeah,
He's
and
he's
when
a he's basically, in the same way he explored vampirism. Okay,
mm,
I feel
Mhm.
like he's gonna do this. Now he's gonna do the werewolf, like like that, and that completely lines up with what you were telling me. You know, we
Mhm.
Yeah,
got that
but
folklore over there.
here's the new
Mhm.
thing. When you were speaking, Anna, I got this. See if it resonates or if it's full of hot air. Is there, because this is before you found out about your participation in this kind of very big deal art show, it did the wolves eating the meat, was that you, a fear of your art being consumed?
The thing is, it was before I got the result. The thing is, I completely forgot because the thing about this exhibition is I didn't even intend to join. A professor from high school reached out and he was like, because he works in the same school with my cousin and he saw her and he was like, "Hey, what's your cousin doing? Like, is
Mm-hmm.
she okay? How is she?" Because we had a very close relationship because he
Mm-hmm.
started teaching and I was one of his first students and we still remained close. I'm not
Yeah.
often home so we don't see each other. And
Mm-hmm.
he told doing so I did. I gathered the work that I had. I took the pictures. I sent it in. I wrote a brief synopsis about everything. And normally, I expected it because that's how it usually works. You receive an email.
Yeah.
You're like, "Thank you for your participation. We will get back to you shortly." I only got like the confirmation on the website
Yeah.
that you submitted your work. So I was waiting on that email. And the thing is, they pushed back the deadline for submitting of the work for like 2 or 3 times. Like I completely
Whoa.
forgot. It was
Yeah.
out of mind. I was waiting for like a social media post, or I was like, well, maybe I didn't get in.
Yeah.
The thing is, I never really fear my art being consumed, but I think that the consumption of something does
Mm-hmm.
people,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily with art, because the thing with my art is I exist in the
Yeah.
way I always do. My art is
Mm-hmm.
an inanimate object that came from me but
Mm-hmm.
exists within my context. Whatever somebody else does with it doesn't concern me, it doesn't change it, it doesn't affect it.
Mm-hmm.
It's mine, but I am a self-portrait artist. I look
Mm-hmm.
that way, I'm perceived outside, so it's not even my appearance. The
Mm-hmm.
thing is, the thing that struck me as the most illogical, if you will, is the men wearing armor, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
like some sort of light tactical thing. It's chainmail, it's metal, it's this, it's that, and yes, of course, if somebody is fatally wounded with like an axe, the armor would tear. That's
Mm-hmm.
how people died. But I'm like, how the fuck are y'all chomping when there's that much
Yeah.
armor involved? So I feel like it's some sort of consumption versus self-preservation versus
Mm-hmm.
something wild and animalistic and savage trying to make itself seem more civilized. So, it could
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
a lot of
that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. It's almost like it's almost like the old world meets the new.
Yeah.
You know,
mm,
it's like folklore
That.
meets technology in a way
Mm-hmm.
because
mm,
there's a lot of
Well,
metal
and
that
again,
shows up in that. If
yeah.
you count the cutlery and how
Right.
specific the
mm.
armor is.
Yeah.
And the
That's
Yeah.
true.
smell of that as well, like the smell of the metallic blood and everything.
Yes.
Which
Also
also counts. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is that's
counts.
totally a thing.
And the thing that struck me most, because there was shrapnel, and I'm there with bare feet, and I could
Oh.
feel the mud. And it's not like there had been rain.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, just blood soaking the earth, and
Yeah.
it made itself muddy and stuff. And I'm
Oh.
just wondering, mid dream, I wonder, how the hell am I not cutting myself somewhere? Because you're
Yeah.
walking barefoot across a field, if it
Yeah.
were any kind of field, especially in this context. So it's really really odd. It's really gross. It's not been letting me go. The last dream that had this much of an impact for me was the one that lasted like 3 days, where I was cleaning a house. So
Mm-hmm.
but it's only impactful because I it happened for 3 days in a row, and as soon as I sort of made it clear to myself in terms
Mm-hmm.
of what I think was happening,
Yeah.
resolved, it never came back. So Here, it's not a reoccurring dream. The thing, though, is I've slept very poorly and barely, so it might come back, but I feel like there might be a resolve eventually. Maybe there usually is with my
Yeah.
dreams. Not right away, but they resolve themselves eventually, so we'll see.
Yeah. It keeps resonating for me with the Morrigan because the Morrigan, they keep taking the Morrigan and it's three, three goddesses or whatever in one.
Jen
The
loves that
Morrigan.
Morgan.
But
That's
they
her
keep trying
favorite.
to, so her initial interpretation, the history and the lore of her is very much warlike, like most of these goddesses are, because they were invoked, they were necessary, they were needed when we were doing this brutal fighting for land, for this, for that. And but the Morrigan comes in these three different faces, and one of the faces of the Morrigan, she is taking the armor of the soldiers that died, the blood crusted armor, and she's washing them clean, the armor clean, in a river. And the Morrigan in this book, it was interesting because the person that's been working with her, Stephanie Woodfield, was like, what, we're in modern times and we aren't really savage in most of the world. We're not savagely beating each other up or doing hand-to-hand combat, that kind of thing. And it's like, why aren't you evolving? And she was like, people have become addicted. The Morgan pushback, so the people have become addicted to me, aligned with war and warlike behavior. And so they want to see that when they come to me, it's this arsenal energy. It's this like barbaric fighting mama bear energy. But when their belly is full of blood, I will show them a different face of me. And she has two other faces. So one of them was the one that I described, right? And I keep thinking that you have this old and new, all like you guys are saying, that's colliding in this dream, this blood that's crusted on the armor. How do they have so much meat to feed the wolves? Well, it's like you could look at the world right now and take the temperature, the pulse of the world right now, and it's like, my belly is so fucking full of blood. Like I keep telling the Morgan, I'm not afraid to work with you. Everybody, like the guy that sold me this book was like, dude, do you really want to buy this? She is no shit. Like this, she is scary to work with. I'm like, well, I've been working with it. Thanks for your concern. But it's like there are people that really buy into the only face they know or take time to see of her is the warrior, and then their belly is not full of blood yet. And I keep thinking the world's belly has got to be full of blood by now. Can we see a different face across the world? Two other iterations that are more gentle, more loving, more compassionate, more the new economy, more honoring artists and visionaries and, individuality and stuff. And I guess so she keeps saying, but their bellies aren't full of blood. And so they keep seeing this face of me as this warrior. So it really resonates with me with these wolves and this blood crusted on this armor. And then this whole notion of yours of like, where did all these wolves get this meat in my dream that they're eating and eating? Did you ever look down at your feet and check them during the dream to see if they were wounded?
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And they were okay.
often.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I'm like, this line of thinking that I'm having, this overly logical line of thinking that I'm trying to have in this moment in this dream, because I'm always aware that it's a dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dreams cannot startle me in that sense. They can be horrifying, they can be
Mm-hmm.
nightmarish. I never have this sort of feeling like, oh, this is real. I
Mm-hmm.
can distinguish the two. And I was often like, checking to see if my feet had been injured, because
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell because from all of the blood and the mud.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, the sort of logic that you're trying to apply here has no place here. Like, you're concerning yourself with the wrong thing. And the thing is, I couldn't see the wolves
Mm-hmm.
from the starting point, because it was starting to get darker and the sun is setting, and I'm not even hearing them. I'm just hearing normal woodland noises,
Mm-hmm.
And then you approach the end of the clearing, and I'm not even sure where I'm going because it's woods. It's very dense. There's nothing to see. There's nothing there. And I just, start seeing them, and it's bizarre. Like, where the hell did you get bibs? Where is the cutlery from? Like, what's going on? And then I woke up, and I was like, mm.
To
Okay.
make a
Interesting.
weird connection,
Yeah.
like Nietzsche, and I'm paraphrasing. In my favorite thing that he wrote, he says that man only believes in gods who make a big noise in the world. So like every time you start talking about the Morgan and the whole like associating her with like this war goddess,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like that's their default. That's people's default setting.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking it back to the most
Well,
base interpretation
okay.
of the goddess.
And sorry to interrupt, but actually, like that resonates with me because, okay, think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? You guys are, you guys know, right? The pyramid are base level needs, and then we go up. And as we have those base level needs met, then we can go higher and higher. And to things like being able to meditate, being able to take time to be creative and do art and things like that. So what if these goddesses, like these triple goddesses that keep coming into our lives, Jesse, over and over and over the last month, I swear, there's an element of Maslow's hierarchy of needs and self-actualization. And we get to see their faces as we say, okay, I'm safe. I'm not vulnerable. My feet are okay. Like if you're Anna in the tree, my feet are not getting cut up. I'm not one of the fallen soldiers. Like, and so you can get different faces of the goddesses as your core needs are met. But not only that, you're touching them and saying, I'm not vulnerable in that place anymore. My community's not vulnerable there anymore. And so you can see a different face. And maybe it is like a pyramid. Then we get to see, I don't want to say higher or lower. Yeah, but
it's a good way to break it down because it's not necessarily it's higher or lower. It's levels.
It's just an experience, but
yeah, it's sure. And while we have been while mostly you two have been talking and resonating about the dream.
Yeah.
Like I thank you because I was shuffling my cards while all this energy was flowing. I found her, Jen.
You know your third goddess?
I know who it is. Found her. I just cut the deck and she was there.
Okay. Hit me.
So look, Titania. We knew about Titania, and this is Rachel White's. This is Rachel White's totem deck, which
we already know about Titania.
Like literally, like it's literally like my favorite thing now.
You're such a fucking tease, Jesse. You're such a tease. Okay.
The map.
Yeah, we know about the map.
Okay, we knew about these two already. Okay.
Yeah.
Look who made herself known. Just like basically fell out of the fucking deck.
I'm getting to see that.
Persephone.
It's another three-faced goddess.
Is that not and also, is this not like, I love these fucking cards.
The card is stunning. There is another parallel, however.
What? Yeah. Let's hear it.
And then like literally like in the description book, the next card after Persephone is called the Three Sisters. So it's like you know what I mean? It's the three
oh my God. Well, I want to hear about that, but Anna made another connection. What
was
that,
Anna? Roll on.
The thing is, we've discussed the Morrigan a few days ago. He mentioned it, and they're different, but they're very much similar. There's a similar three-faced goddess in like Slavic mythology.
I was going to ask you.
Morgana, and she is basically the goddess of death, winter, and nightmares.
Can you spell her name?
Morena.
Okay, and then tell us the three faces of her: death, winter.
It's not categorized like
not
that.
Really.
She's supposedly has three faces, but the interesting thing about her, she's often represented with like 6 hands, and each hand holds a different symbol. I saw a picture, like I that's what I was looking
I
up.
think I was
Yeah.
gonna work her into a story. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, she literally, she's a very seasonal goddess, where
Wow.
more seasonal, the Morgan is more like, war goddess. She's
Yeah.
more established. Morena has seasons, and the thing is, it's always the whole duality and that sort of aspect with this goddess, because she's either described as a beautiful, pale, warrior-like woman, because she's also, the goddess of death, so she has those attributes.
Mm-hmm.
But she's either described as that or like an old crone. There's
Yeah.
no in.
Crone. Yeah.
But I can show
Wisdom.
it to you. It's basically this, where
Oh,
it's
oh
like
wow.
or
She's
fire
powerful.
or serpent. Yeah, I mean, she's
Serpent,
one of.
you said, because that's been another thing this week has been serpents showing up over and over and over with
Mm,
me. Rattlesnakes
Jen,
in the
yeah,
path of my
Jen's got a
hiking
whole
trail.
like snake thing going on.
I do. I had to
There's
rescue
like
a
two,
snake.
right?
Yeah, two.
Wasn't there two?
I had to rescue a
There's
snake.
one in your garage.
Right. Yeah. In my garage, I had a snake. And I went out there because you know how I'll go, Jesse, I have to run on the dumb treadmill. I went out to my garage and there was a snake there and I was like, it's surprised me. It was a very big snake. I opened up the garage and I said, I invite you to go outside because you're not going to survive in here. And it just got scared and it's like slithered, it like sidewindered over to the wall. And I said, well, this isn't going to go. So apparently I know parcel tongue because I brought a box over. I tipped it sideways and I said, can you please get in the box? I'm not going to hurt you. I need you to slither in the box and then I'm going to carry you to safety and put you under the roses. And it hesitated and then it slithered in the box and then I tipped it up and it thought about jumping out and I said, no, stay in there till the roses. And then when we got close to the roses, it just like leapt out and then it found its new home. But then there was another snake that was on the hiking trail that I was on. And I was called by my guides to turn on Pink Floyd The Wall.
Start
the album at the very beginning and go on my hike. It was and so I'm hiking and there were two paths that you can take. One is the Red Rocks Trail, the other is the Morrison Formation, which is much more like it's a black diamond. It's a lot more climbing and I was going to do that. So I'm on the trail and this woman just stops me in a panic, her and her dog. And she's just like, oh my God, there's a giant rattlesnake up there. And there's a giant rattlesnake. Just be careful. Are you going Morrison Formation? I said, that's where I'm headed. And I took off my headphones and she said, it's this big. She showed me a picture of it on her phone and she goes, it's this big. It was like as big as my arms are, like around. So like about a 32 pound snake. Huge snake. And she goes, I think that this runner, I think he panicked and he threw a rock, but it didn't kill it, but it's dying and it's dying by itself on the mountain. I had on sunglasses. Pink Floyd is still playing in one of my earbuds and I'm just sobbing and I'm sobbing and sobbing for this snake that's on the mountain. And I'm like, it's like a guardian of this mountain. And this mountain has been a safe haven for me where like even in the winter with my little spikers on my hiking boots, I'm certain that snake was hibernating underneath a boulder as I passed it because I did that trail so often this winter and into the spring when the tourists aren't around. And I'm like, this snake dying alone on the mountain is just breaking my heart. So she said, well, be really careful. And remember, it's the Morrison Formation. So I started heading off and I had this moment that I hadn't had since going home to say goodbye to my dad and be with him when he died. And I was like, do I have what it takes to be there for this snake as it dies? Because I think this is going to be a journey and I don't know what this snake needs, but I'm not there when it got harmed. but I'll be there as it's passing. So there must be some reason. The timing was so perfect that morning. I mean, everything down to the microsecond, everything kept delaying me to be there right at this moment. So I got to the fork in the road, and a fork in the road, like the forked tongue of a snake, doesn't, that crossed my mind at the time. I'm like, I could choose to not have this experience and go the Red Rocks way, or I can go the Morrison Formation and have the experience with the snake. And so I chose intentionally to go up and have the experience with the snake. And as I go up, the cut is where another woman stops me, and she goes, our dog freaked out. There's a giant rattlesnake ahead on the trail, and it's acting really weird. And I said, I think it's dying. This is what I got from this other woman. And her partner was up ahead, and he goes, I think she's right. I think it is dying. That's why it didn't rattle as we went past. But their dog likes to run ahead on the hike, and he basically like reared back like he was a horse. So they knew something was in the trail. So their dog was okay, but the snake never rattled at them. And so together we were on the trail, and he said it's not compassionate, that it's just, its middle is kind of gashed and it's like bleeding out, but this isn't compassionate. Like all of us were like, this isn't compassionate. We have to end it. He goes, I can do it if I get the right rock. And so he found this like sharp rock, and he finished it. And then he got, quote unquote, the job done, and the snake had passed. And then, and then he had to use a tree limb to move the snake because it was so big off of the trail. And he did that. And then I did what I was supposed to do, I guess. They kept going on the trail past where the snake was, and I was called to pick up little stones, and I got feathers from a bird that left them, and I put them in the place where the snake was. And when I came off the mountain, I mean, it just ruined the hike. Like all of the joy of the hike was just gone, because all I could think of was that the mountain lost this beautiful, mighty guardian. And I was just heartbroken, and couldn't stop crying, and it just felt awful. And then I came home, and I told Doug, I said, I found this huge snake on the trail. And he said, they can be dangerous. It's a tough mix with human beings and rattlesnakes. And I said, it is, but someone has to cry for the snake. Someone has to cry for the snake. Either we are all love and there's people like me that care about snakes and, all the cute creatures too, and cry for them all, or there isn't any love. And so anyway, that was my experience this week. It just keeps going back to serpents with me and snakes. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to see it in pain, or you know what I mean. Like I had to make a bash about it, but the heart attack I would have fucking had walking up on that thing.
Oh,
wow.
I agree, and I don't actually like. I was ready to kind of be pissed off at the runner, if that's what it was. I actually got an indication that it could have been a horse, because people take horses up that formation. It's a kind of a jagged cut up the mountain, and so it could have been a horse, because I saw really fresh horse poop.
I bet it was. I mean, do you know how hard you would have to throw a rock to like do that? Yeah, it had to be a horse.
Exactly. So that was my feeling too. But I did cross paths with a runner, and he did make a point, because we were going. I had already done the hike, and I was doubling back. It was an out and back trail, and I was going past the place where the snake's remains were tossed. And I did see a runner, and he had done the out and back, but we had, and the timing would have been that he could have been the runner that like got it, if it was the runner that did it with the rock initially. And he did look in the brush, like he was looking around for, wait, I didn't finish the job. Where did this go? So I don't know. But I didn't get any aggression from him. I didn't get any glee, bloodlust. It's literally like he seemed as sad as I was about what was going on. So yeah, it was weird, because you'd think it was like the worst of humanity, but I saw so much good in human beings that day, caring about the snake, caring about each other, and doing it the right way through the eyes of a snake. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want it to be pain and die horribly.
No, me either.
Definitely.
But I would have freaked out.
I'm gonna go grab you guys. I'm gonna go grab my Animal Speak book and see what wolves say in that and rattlesnakes. So I'll be right
Sounds
back.
good. There's not much. There's not
Hell
much
yeah.
in my book about. There's Marana, which is with an A instead of an E.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's the
that's
thing.
an alternate. That's an alternate spelling. Yeah.
Because it's Morena, Morana, depending on where you're from and how your
Yeah.
language forms it.
Just says
It's
a winter goddess and goddess of death. That's what it says.
and nightmares.
Yeah.
But
In the old in my gigantic dictionary of mythology.
the only, the only thing, but that was months ago. Like I was like, where did you encounter wolves, armor, any of that sort of stuff? I needed a metaphor for, I was writing my thesis and I needed a metaphor for how things are not always as they seem and how people can, use common concepts to steer one's perception. And I used the wolf as an example because I couldn't just say people are deceptive. And as are animals, I needed to be very pretentious about it. So I wrote because it's a proven fact. With wolves, they do this sort of thing where there is a fight and a male wolf is fighting another male. His mate will often, come up and tuck her head under his chin. And to
Yeah.
everybody, she looks scared. But the thing is, she's not scared. I mean, she looks scared and ducking and hiding, but she's actually just protecting his neck. Because if the other male were to lunge at him, he would be met with her teeth.
Oh, you know what? That's that makes a lot of sense. I would never thought of that.
Something nefarious is happening. Hold on.
What's happening?
See, something nefarious.
Oh, with the
Something
cats?
weird. No.
Oh, just in general. Okay, wait. It's gonna take me a while to look this up.
It's some guy on an e-scooter at 2 in the morning, and he stopped to look at hedgehogs.
It's so wild to me that like literally she'll send me pictures of me like hedgehogs and shit on the street. I'm just like,
Who
what?
does? Who does that?
Anna Maria does it. Yeah, she sends it to me.
I
Okay.
sent him a video the other day of
I'm
a
just
cat.
like, the fuck?
hedgehog.
Yeah.
Wolf 323, 325. Okay, here it is. Okay, so they say wolf keynote guardianship, ritual, loyalty and spirit, cycle of power, year round, full moons, twilight, which is interesting because you said your dream was at sunset, or it looked like sunset in the dream. And then they say this: wolves are and here's the book.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you were gonna buy a copy of that, by the way.
I did that day. I did. Wolves are probably the most.
I literally said that on the podcast, with Madia. When
I couldn't disappoint you.
I was listening to it today, and I was like,
couldn't disappoint my podcast husband.
I was like, that book's gonna be on Jen's dining room table. And
dude, I went to the witch store in Denver and I bought it. I was like,
I know.
Laser focus. There was one copy and it was mine. Okay. Wolves are probably the most misunderstood of the wild mammals. Tales of terror and their cold-bloodedness abound. Although many stories tell otherwise, there has never been any confirmed attack and killing of a human by a healthy wolf. In spite of the negative press, wolves are almost the exact opposite of how they're portrayed. That's interesting. They are friendly, social, and highly intelligent. Their sense of family is strong and loyal, and they live by carefully defined rules and rituals.
I'm not
Well,
gonna go pet one. Just letting you know ahead of time. That's.
I don't know. I have a
I
I would
would.
have I have actually. I mean, when
I I
when
mean probably I only fear the Tetra chip.
I think
So
you know you're
I
a
mean
witch, or
yeah.
I don't know, because if I
I
go to
only
a
fear the
zoo,
Tetra chip.
they
Yeah.
come right up to me. They're like looking at me. Wolves are the epitome of the wild spirit. So that's very important to your dream. Their positive characteristics are so numerous, it is no wonder that Native Americans and others practically deify them. Many believe that the true test of America's sincerity about protecting the environment will revolve around whether or not the wolf remains protected and is allowed to be reintroduced into areas of the country where it has heretofore been eliminated. The wolf is the true spirit of the free and unspoiled wilderness. The gray timber wolf is the most common, only in Alaska, Canada, and the region around the Great Lakes. Okay, that's very US based. Probably the biggest misconception about wolves is their size, which I mentioned. They are not nearly as large as most people imagine, but bigger than most people think. Their thick fur gives an appearance of greater size, but they're usually
So
no
you say.
taller than a good-sized German shepherd. Wolves are very ritualistic. Okay, I think this part's important too. In as many ways as humans, they live by carefully defined rules. There are specific, and that reminds me because they even have a hierarchy when they eat. Because my husband, said that that's how their wolves were. Wait, I lost my space. There are specific territories that are sacred to them. Okay, that resonates. They live by carefully defined rules. Their social behavior is based upon a hierarchical structure. Each has its place and function within the hierarchy. There's an alpha male and an alpha female. Wolves do not fight unnecessarily. In fact, they will often go out of their way to avoid fighting. Though they are extremely strong and powerful, disagreements rarely end in serious fights. Often, a glance, a posture, a growl is all that's necessary to determine dominance. They don't have to demonstrate it, but they are capable of it when it comes down to it. That's part of what wolf medicine teaches. The wolf teaches you to know who you are and to develop strength, confidence, and surety, and that's so that you do not have to demonstrate and prove yourself to all. They have a complex communication system using body language. So the movement of the head and erect tail, eating with a fork and knife with a bib, apparently. I'm just joking. But each wolf learns from the time they are pups how to read and respond. The facial expressions of the wolf are varied and useful in conveying the mood to other members of the pack. It is a most important visual center of communication. And the tail is as well. If you have difficulty conveying your moods and ideas to others, meditate and study the wolf. It will teach you how to empower your verbal communications. They also a misconception. They howl just for the joy of it. So wolf packs are not entirely autocratic. Under the supreme rule of the alpha member, neither are they democratic. They mate for life. I think that's it. That's really relevant. They have keen senses, excellent sense of hearing. So that could be part of your dream as well. And then at the end, they kind of sum it up this way. The wolf has a capacity for making quick and firm emotional attachments. Learning to trust your own insights and to secure your attachments accordingly is part of what wolf medicine teaches. The wolf can help you to hear the inner and guard you from inappropriate actions. It will guard you as it teaches you, sometimes strongly, sometimes gently, but always with love. When wolf shows up, it is time to breathe new life into your rituals. Find a new path, take a new journey, take control of your life. You're the governor of your life. You create it and direct it. Do so with harmony and discipline, and then you will know the true spirit of freedom. I feel like you're living in such a free way. I don't feel like that resonates with me at all of
Mm-mm.
that.
No, I don't think you need to learn that lesson. I think you're already there.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really weird because, I really, I'm the sort of person who takes everything apart 10 times over and approaches everything from every single perspective that there is. And I've told him about the whole fear aspect, wolves and fear, and what the female does to protect the male's throat, because we were just speaking about it when you were retrieving the book. I am working on a project and I'm working on, the essay on it, the
Yeah.
thesis. And I needed like a metaphor for how people oftentimes use perceived emotions and signals to manipulate an outcome. And I couldn't say that because that would be very boring and unambitious. So I used the wolf as a metaphor because females will duck their heads under their mate's neck if a
Yeah.
fight does break out, and to everybody else, she would look scared and frightened. But the thing is, she is not. She's protecting his throat.
Yeah.
So if the
Yeah.
other mate lunges, if the other male lunges, it's met with teeth. So that's the only time, but that was months ago, that I had to, reference a wolf in anything, except for like the painting I do, but that's a maned wolf. It's not really. It looks more like a fox with extremely long legs. So a lot of the things I found do not resonate whatsoever, which is
Yeah.
exactly why it's so confusing. Because with
Yeah.
the house cleaning dream, I knew essentially what it meant, and it had nothing to do with my life circumstances. It was
Mm-hmm.
something else entirely, but I figured it out relatively quickly. But this is odd, and
Are we sure they're wolves?
yes,
Okay.
yes. And the only thing where I
Wow.
was like, I wish, because I have an absurd background, and that's something that resonated with me today, is I was at my friend's house for the whole housewarming thing, even though she's moving away very shortly.
Yeah.
And they put on some music channel in the back while we were having a discussion, just so something plays. And it was a music video. It was, medieval tents, armor, that sort of shit. And I think it was rap. It was Drake and Future, people who have
Yeah.
millions and millions and who can spend on, quality production and actual quality armor. But, Christopher Nolan didn't do it for the Odyssey, so I don't really expect much from them either. And, I was talking with my friend.
Don't even get
I
me
know.
started. Don't even get me
Jesse
started.
Exactly.
biting his tongue. We're all gonna smell blood in a
I,
minute.
I, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say anything.
It's ridiculous, but I was like, oh, when now suddenly the whole night thing and LARPing became cool, back in my day, because I had nerdy interest. Like, I was watching a channel who just made weapons, and they made like movie replica weapons and from books and stuff. And I know a lot about armor, actually, and like the medieval period. And I just wish, like, instead of focusing on dream logic of, oh, my feet are not injured, maybe I should have looked to see if I could make something out in the armor, like if there was like
Mm.
a crest
Yeah.
or some sort of symbolism. Or because the
Well,
thing is, I couldn't
yeah.
see anything of that sort. Like, I looked back at it and I was like, did I see anybody's face, or were
Yeah.
they all sort of away? Like, they all had helmets, their faces were very obstructed.
Uh-huh.
It's not like they were faceless, but it's just, when a person dies and they fall back and their helmet is slightly askew and the face is there,
Yeah.
but you can only make out like
Mm-hmm.
a corner of an eye out or a little bit of the nose. And I didn't see anybody who's like, face. And also, like, normally with armor and everything, there's ranks to it. A simple soldier will not have the same armor as like a mercenary, or if a
That's
prince
right.
Mm-hmm.
on campaign with his army. It's not, it's gonna differ. it was
So
just
What's the
really.
reason I asked? Because it's like, what if they were masks?
yeah. Or Anna, I think that if Daniel Rekshan was with us, what he would say for you tonight is set the intention that you get to go back to the battlefield and you have your sketch pad and you can sketch details that you see from the armor that you mentioned. Look closer at the faces and see and then when you wake up, though, that means that you will have sketched them in your mind and then just jot down what you remember right when you wake up and just see how that enriches the experience and if it gives you clarity. You can do that.
That's the thing, though.
Daniel's fascinating,
I
and like I
know.
was not prepared.
I know.
I'll make sure that I'll make sure that I send you the link when his
Mhm.
episode comes on, because like I
Definitely.
was like, holy shit! Like he's
Yeah,
like,
there's so many layers to it that a lot of people
yeah,
don't understand.
and
I mean,
people are
a lot
like
of
sending
people
him. People are
value.
sending him marks on their bodies.
Yeah, that's his latest thing. Yeah.
And like he's basically interpreting it, and like it was nuts. I was like, holy shit. And he has this theory that basically when
Our
you
future
when you
selves.
wake up and you get these weird marks on yourself, and you're like, where did this come from, or whatever, that that like not only do they mean something, but that's yourself from the future sending yourself messages to the past, and that's how it manifests as like this mark on your body. And I was like, I've never heard anybody like,
dude,
I've never heard that theory ever.
And I went
and
through
it made sense.
during the interview. I went through 3 dreams with him. It was hilarious because I'm like, I didn't know this was going to be Daniel Rekshan tells me what my dreams mean. But one of them, I was like, it was so specific that this person poked something into my forearm. And then they poked it really hard in there and it was really sharp. And then now with that premise of like it was my future, and then what shows up 2 days later is on my other arm this bruise that was right where it was on that other one. And then they said, and Jesse goes, Jen, I'm convinced more and more that those are all messages of your future self sending to you now. And I thought about that because Anna, if I'm facing myself in this dream and I grab my arm because I'm right-handed, I would be grabbing my actual left
Mhm.
arm, which is the one that ended up being freaking bruised right where in the dream I pressed it into it. So I love this premise. And what if it's your past self? What if it's like I keep getting that it has something to do with a past life. I don't know.
It very
It
well
does
could.
not, or does it?
It could. The thing
Mm-hmm.
is, it would, because the way that I'm headed now, the way that I'm currently, I'm not saying it's not going to change. It's supposed to. It will. It's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
But the path that I established right now does not feel like it will have any significance in the future, but it feels more so as I have to process something from the past in order to get to said
Wow.
future. And the
Yeah.
thing is, I've always been like fascinated with armor because to me it's like jewelry in a sense. So I've studied armor. It's even jewelry oftentimes was intended as wearable armor, especially like
Mm-hmm.
necklaces to protect the
Mm-hmm.
neck, to protect
Mm-hmm.
this, to signify something. And that's one of the things I did. I sort of saw the armor, but that's the thing. It wasn't marked in any way that I could discern. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't look, like it belonged somewhere historically where I was like, oh, yes, this is the Tudor crest. And I also was not getting the sense of, oh, this is a prop.
Mm-hmm.
It's not giving, fantasy warrior
Right.
armor. It's not
Yeah.
giving any of that. And the thing that I was like referencing today with my friends is like, Jesus Christ, they're appropriating nerd culture now. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have these big name rappers, dressing up and
I
LARPing in
know.
armor. And like 20 years ago, the people who played Dungeons and Dragons and went to the Ren Fair were like the laughing stock of the class. So, yeah, I mean, same. And now it's getting this whole sort of resurfacing, and but the thing is, I haven't seen it and I do not intend to see it yet. Like, it's been a discussion with this whole, like, Game of Thrones revival that's been mentioned briefly. But in no way does it align with it. So,
No.
I,
Mm-mm.
you know, scrolling back and like rolling through, because there's always a kickoff in my real life. Like, something needs to happen in order to set a dream in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been looking at like the past 6 months, and I was like, so you've encountered wolves there, armor you didn't see in
Yeah.
God knows how long. I'm not doing anything artistically that relates to any of it. Everything is the issue is, dreams are normally vague. I
Yeah.
remember feeling a sensation. I
Mm-hmm.
remember what it looked like. I remember bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first dream I had in a long, long, long time where everything is oddly specific.
Mm-hmm.
All senses are involved. I could smell things. I could hear things. I couldn't see myself. It was a nightmare, but it didn't feel like one. At no point was I scared or concerned for my safety or my well-being. I was very aware that it was a dream to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like the severity, this left more of a mark. But the past one I had, where AI apologists got a hold of my post and fed my dream into the great slot machine, that
Oh
one
my
was,
God. Yes,
because I don't know if you remember it, but I
I
was
do.
basically, some lady who was very weird gave me a house, and I was cleaning it. And I was cleaning it for days, and nothing was getting done. Nothing was happening. I was cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, and I was there like, oh, some fucking spirit attached itself to me and basically hired me to clean against my, because nothing else made sense. And
Yeah.
when I made the connection, the dream stopped, and I
It
was
was
having it
over.
3 days in a row. Like, I would wake up, and then tomorrow the dream would basically just start where it left back off, which was weird. I never had that. And I was there like, yeah, you're in some fucking soul contract, probably. Stop fucking cleaning that thing. Not everything needs to be addressed. And that's sort of also like my clean freak instincts, because what I do is I clean.
Yeah.
I cannot bear a dirty house. I cannot bear a dirty bed, especially. Like, I'm always,
Yeah.
finding ways to clean. But it's just, this feels like it exists in a vacuum,
But
exempt from my life and my
so
experiences, which is,
yeah, and okay, so the things that I'm hearing from you that are so different than dreams in the past. Number
Mhm,
one, the smell that you could
mhm,
literally still smell it days later. That was new. It's almost like a new Claire opened up for
mhm,
you in the dream space that you actually have as a superpower now.
Oh yeah,
This
Claire. What is it? Which one is it?
sentience, sentience,
Salience.
salience. It's the
It's
smell one.
salience.
It's the
Yeah,
Claire sniffer. It's okay. We're gonna pretend we're Sam because he just makes up words.
Claire sniffing. Yeah, but that's
And
the
then
thing.
there were other things. There were other things about the dream that were so different than your normal experience that normally you can feel the ties and tethers from your like meat suit life and how they connect to that dream in some way, and you didn't have that. So that was kind of a new thing
mhm.
for this dream. Is that right? And then
Yep.
and what is the resolution? I actually think that you're being called to have to go back there. I think you have to dream about it again. AJ brings up an excellent point about liminal lucid dreaming. And I think that you know enough, you are a lucid dreamer naturally. If you're like, oh, this is a dream, are my feet okay? You're checking your feet. So instead of saying, if even if you go, I want to kind of check my feet, make sure they're okay, say, let that be the trigger that makes me pay attention to the armor closer. I'm not going to get distracted this time. A is for
That can
armor.
even be the tremor that pulls you back into the dream.
Right. Exactly.
The
That's
thing
Because
exactly what I was thinking.
because you're setting yourself up for intent before you
Right.
dream, before
Yeah.
you fall asleep.
the thing is, this came just now.
What?
I'm not sure if it has anything to do with it, but we started a conversation a while ago about the spiritual soul trade and the spiritual black market of it all. And that's the whole point of it. People who die earlier than expected or die alone and make an untimely death, their soul gets sort of startled
Mhm.
and it doesn't know where to go. And there's these
Mhm.
things called soul eaters and spirit eaters,
Mhm.
which can basically snatch up your soul at that precise moment. And there's this whole slave trade of souls going on. And we briefly touched on it. That seems fitting. Maybe the wolf was just a representation of that. Like I
Mhm.
would have to look into it, but it's an interesting parallel.
That
It
is.
it doesn't seem to resonate as well, but it feels like it's pointing in the right direction.
Mhm.
Seems like it seems like they're definitely a dark entity. You
Mhm.
know, just because of the consumption aspect of it. You know,
Yeah, the thing is, you're cutting something with a knife and a fork, but you're not,
You're
you're
not
just,
eating it that way. You're
yeah,
not
you're just
poking your
eating
food and chomping it with it.
Yeah, you're just eating as you normally would. It just makes it more frantic and more
But
like, uncanny valley.
but there is a parallel because Jesse, you know how Anna was saying how she knew it was this entity, this dark, like some attachment. I don't even want to call it dark or light, but it was an attachment that was like making her clean the house over and over and over. And it's like, oh, I have an attachment. Let me get rid of that. And then the dream didn't happen anymore. I think in this instance, the attachment is having her fixate on her feet and the health of her feet with all this shit all over the place on the muddy, bloody, sharp shrapnel stuff on the ground. And it's getting her so focused looking down that she's not actually looking up and getting the message of the dream.
if you go back to our conversation with Madia, which is
Yeah.
fresh in my mind because I listened to it today,
Mm-hmm.
that is your that's your primary connection with the earth would be to be walking like that in nature with bare feet. That is
Mm-hmm.
you're completely connected. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
you're suddenly in a scenario where there's something that is there's something that is that has caused potential distress if you continue to connect in that fashion, or has put you in danger if you so something is breaking your connection with the earth,
Mm-hmm.
which is connected to the trees, the root system, the trees, the fungal system, the basically
Mm-hmm.
that entire nervous system of the planet.
That's lighting
So
me up. That is
yeah,
that thought's lighting me up because the other thing is like, so it's the blood. It's the blood of these dead soldiers that's made the earth into this mud that she is barefooted and feeling with her feet, Jesse.
or
And
the
then
fact that
and
there's
here are the
blood
wolves
there, and then
eating me.
like she said, there's shrapnel. So
Right.
she's basically in danger of
Danger. Yep.
there's suddenly an element involved that is disrupting your connection
To
with
the earth.
nature and
Yep.
to the earth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I think too.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, but
so
it's
yeah.
it's also a thing because I always, move with a sense of logic. I when I was much younger, I had this thing where you're running but you cannot seem to progress, or
Mhm.
you're trying to scream but nothing comes out. That happened to
Mhm.
me when I was younger.
Or you're
In my
having,
dream,
are you realize you're having to suddenly clean a house over
Yep.
and over again
Over
yeah,
and
and
not
over
making any
again.
progress? Yeah.
Yep.
the thing is, still, in even in that dream, I was not performing the same task. I was trying to approach it methodically because, for example, there were a lot of electronics. And one day I was just like, checking what's working, what can be used. And the other day I was cleaning a bathroom. It's not like I was sort of pressured to clean the same thing and it didn't get cleaned. I was, making progress, but there was so much of this junk that it seemed like it
Mhm.
would never end. And the thing is, in my dreams, I'm never stopped or stripped from my sense of urgency. I'm not in a situation where I try to scream, but nothing happens.
Mhm.
The thing for me is what I would particularly like to know is, why am I trying to get through that particular clearing on the other side, even though there's nothing there? Why not go around? Because I still, even in my dreams, I'm driven by a certain sense of logic. Like me, myself, I would I would go on the edges of the field. I
You
would
th-
not walk
no.
straight across it.
You think so, but I think you're choosing the experience. It's like me and the snake. I had that moment on
Yeah,
the trail
exactly.
and said, I'm choosing the experience. So you're choosing the experience.
But the thing is, you chose because you know what was at the end. It was the
True.
snake. I want to know
Yeah.
what's at the. Why am I crossing there in such an
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
inconvenient?
you know what? Because you made the point specifically that you were walking in deep woods and you didn't know that there was a clearing there
At
until the
all.
clearing opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
like I couldn't
Right?
see.
Yeah.
I was just walking, and suddenly there it was. And normally
Suddenly she entered liminal space, Jen.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like
can
I
that
Heterotopia.
it
Here,
is.
here.
you can tell that something is wrong. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell until I stepped on it, and I was like, oh shit, my feet are wet. Oh shit, there's dead people. It was
Mhm.
very weird. And the thing is, I mean, I've had experiences where I know what certain things feel like and smell
Mhm.
like, sound like. And the thing is that that the smell of death is unmistakable. It has that sort of sweetly fatty sort of scent, but there was just so much blood that was swept away. And I would, since wolves are scavenging and it's a fresh battle scene, I would expect birds as well, and like all other
Mhm.
sorts of
Mhm.
things. And it was dead silent. You could still hear like wind rustling and branches breaking.
Mhm.
You didn't hear
Yeah,
the
there
meat
should have
of
been carrion birds everywhere.
Yeah, there should have
You
been
know?
ravens. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There
and
should have been
and
ravens. There should have been
Mhm.
vultures. There's,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
I
the thing
I
is, like, there were dead horses. Why go for armored soldiers and try to pick apart some sort of meat from underneath the armor when there's a horse
because
that's
the horse
equally.
because a horse in war does not want to be used for war. And soldiers are, I think that the energy of the fallen soldiers, like, yes, we're fighting the battle. It's a different energy than a horse that's like, what the fuck? I don't want to serve man in this way. So I feel like there's, the wolves are like, yeah, we don't want their meat. That they didn't want to be a part of that battle, is my feeling. But my big thing is I just feel like you have to go back there. Like, I'm not telling you what to do, but my calling is like, set an intention. I need to see some details of the armor, look at the faces, sketch it in my dream, and I want to see what is past that meadow. Like, write out what questions you want answered before you go to sleep tonight, and then you need to light up Jesse's phone with it, and we need to get back here.
Or like,
in the
or
next
like,
couple days.
are you actually gonna,
There's
two,
something. There is something to
are
be
you gonna
unlocked there.
return to the same point
It
in the
doesn't matter.
liminal space?
It doesn't matter. I think that
She
we
could
don't
end up
know.
she could end up before or after that.
Right. Yeah. She could
Before
end
would
up
be
getting
preferable.
context. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like before, I would prefer it if it was before, because
Me
then
too.
you would basically have the option to redo it.
Yeah.
The only
To do like the instant replay. Yeah.
Yeah, like start
Mhm.
again, like fucking lift some helmets,
It's
I guess.
yeah.
And
The-
you're right. If it's a negative energy, if it's I guess to take it down to like the simplest terms, if
Yeah.
it's a demonic feast, they
Mhm.
don't want the horses.
No.
Like you said,
That's
because
what I'm saying.
the horses aren't
They're almost like pure
the
spirit.
horses aren't there's no energy to pull from them.
Mhm. Yeah.
You
like
know?
I'm gonna try and like show you. I'm getting a pen and paper because that's the best way I can express it. And we do not believe in AI
We're
in this
down for that
household.
shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
Hold on.
fuck AI slops.
But it was the thing is their heads were like weird. But I can try and sketch it for you
Yeah, yeah.
mentally. But the thing is,
I don't think they
normally
were wolves. I'm sorry.
I know. I
I
think
I
they're.
can't
I
get off
think they're.
this.
I keep getting that they're a hybrid. It's like a homunculus. Mm-hmm.
Like when like when you watch those old samurai movies and they have those masks that they the
Mhm.
samurai wore, under
Mhm.
their helmets. Like I
Mhm.
feel like it's a thing like that, like they're
Mhm.
literally like they're wearing like wolf masks or something.
I know there's something to that.
Yeah, I
feel like it's a
think what's
secret
fucking us
society.
up is that we're trying to pull wolf spirit
When
and
it's
wolf
not.
imagery from that,
When
and
it's
it's
not.
not that at
No,
all.
I think it's human. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think
Or
it's human,
it's
secret,
human or
cult,
demonic
society,
or something. Yeah,
demonic,
Yeah,
something like that too.
I
the thing is,
don't think it's that.
surprisingly, I expected, when you're gripping a fork and
Yeah.
knife, you would expect like hands. I saw like genuine, like twisted wolf paws. It's like, what a cat
Mhm.
paw looks like and how you can wedge something between.
Mhm.
It basically looked like that. That's what I was hyper focused on because the whole time I was expecting hands
Yeah.
or some sort of deformed thing.
Mhm.
That part is very fairy tale.
Yeah,
it's
it
very
is.
grim.
It's Aesop. When I got
Yeah,
the bib, it was like
yeah.
Aesop's fable. Mm-hmm.
Because like if you take that shit back to like if you go back to the German, that shit's like fucking hardcore,
It's very
man.
German.
I know
Yeah, it is.
those them fairy tales are scary as fuck
Yeah.
if you take them back. I got a whole nice volume of like grim, like the original shit,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In Aesop's fables, the wolf represents deception, rapacity, which is extreme greed, the abuse of power, and the inescapable nature of evil. Wolves act as the ultimate antagonists, embodying predatory human behaviors, where the strong prey upon the weak, utilizing guile or brute force to get what they want.
I think you're on to something right there.
Yeah, that whole rapacity, that extreme greed, the abuse of power, inescapable nature of evil. And then also they remind us, remember the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of the
definitely
bib.
a thing.
Yeah, the wolf represents people who wear an innocent facade to carry out malicious agendas. Often wolves will invent elaborate, unjust excuses to harm or eat weaker animals, as seen in The Wolf and the Lamb. So it's talking about symbolism of bullies and tyrants. who use flimsy logic to justify their selfish actions. The boy that cried wolf is another one. So the wolf represents the fatal outcome of destroying community trust.
Oh shit, Lupercala.
What's that? What's Lupercala?
It's okay. So Valentine's Day is basically a Christian perversion of a pagan festival.
Of course it is.
inv-
I love this so much.
involving
already.
involving wolves, meat, and fucking. So there you go, right there.
You know, the funny thing
In
is,
ancient
like,
Roman
I
mythology, the representation for the Romans, the wolf symbolized survival, fierce maternal protection, and the gritty wild origins of their empire. Which, yeah,
Romulus and
Romulus,
Remus.
Remus, yeah. And the shadow, European folklore and the shadow. Western European folklore frequently casts the wolf as the ultimate villain. Peter and the Wolf, the clever predatory threat waiting just beyond the safety of the village walls. Think Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, okay.
that's the thing. Like, I go into absurd overthinking detail. Like, I'm considering every single aspect. Like, I went to that ritual. I went even to like Little Red Riding Hood because, you know, red hair and all. I was like, I was asking myself, did those wolves feel sexual?
And they
Because,
didn't.
you know, no,
yeah, no, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah,
but
no.
yeah, I don't think that's what it is either.
Or shadow aspect of you consuming
The
something.
representation in European festivals, carnivals, or theatrical traditions, a wolf mask often represents the hidden, untamed aspect of human nature or shadow self.
Yeah.
It symbolizes raw instinct, hidden deception, or the wild chaos that disrupts polite society. So you're basically looking at a thing that's beyond the borders of the village in liminal space, okay, that's causing chaos.
Now it's feeling like Black Moon Lilith energy.
Yeah.
To me.
I mean,
shadow
there's a definite connection there.
You know, of the earth. She was made of the earth, not the rib of a man. You know, she's unruly, untamed, untethered. She won't submit to Adam. That's why she's like, fuck that. And then they had to make a new wife out of his fucking rib. Feels very Lilith.
That would make sense because my chart, like when you look at it, everything is in Virgo. Everything. Only Lilith is in Aquarius.
Wow, that's interesting.
In Rachel's deck, the Lilith card is a snake skeleton.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Lupercala was one of the oldest, strangest, and most chaotic festivals in ancient Rome. Celebrated annually on February 15th, it was a wild, bloody event focused on purification and fertility. This is Valentine's Day, everybody. So
wow.
Fuck all them cards.
We didn't have to wear
festival's
white.
name likely derives from lupus, Latin for wolf, linking it to the Lupercala cave at the base of the Palatine Hill, the legendary site where Rome's the Palatine Hill.
I thought you said
not Palantir, Palatine. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's the legendary site where Rome's twin founders, Romulus and Remus, were said to have been nursed by the she-wolf. The typical Lupercala festival unfolded through a unique sequence of rituals. Are you ready for this? Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. The festival was led by a specific group of young aristocratic priests called the Luperci, Brothers of the Wolf. They gathered at the Lupercal Cave to sacrifice male goats, symbolizing sexuality and fertility, and a dog, symbolizing protection. The smearing of blood and milk. Again, happy Valentine's Day. Following the sacrifice, 2 young priests were led to the altar. Their foreheads were smeared with the bloody sacrificial knife. The blood was then immediately wiped away using a piece of wool dipped in milk. According to tradition, are you guys hot yet? Are you feeling sexy? Happy Valentine's Day. According to tradition, the moment the blood was wiped away, the young men were required to burst into laughter. Okay. Fucked up. This is his favorite part. Okay. 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 The wild race through the streets. After a massive feast, the Luperci cut strips of hide from the newly sacrificed goats. Okay.
Oh my God, poor goats.
Happy Valentine's Day. These leather thongs were called fabrua, the root word for our month February.
Oh my God.
Naked or wearing nothing but the leftover goat skins, the young priests ran in 2 groups around the ancient boundary of the Palatine Hill. As they ran, they whipped anyone they passed with the goat hides. Women, and this is true love right here. This is the reason for the season, as they say. Women who wanted to conceive or ensure a safe, easy childbirth would deliberately line up along the path and hold out their hands to be struck, believing the blows granted fertility.
Oh my God.
So there you go, kids. That's Valentine's Day, baby.
It reminded me of Widow's Bay, where Richard is like, yes, and I use my semen and my blood and my feces on that. And he's
That's
like,
the best.
and then Tom's like, wipe my hands off on my pants.
That's just the best. Dude. Widow's Bay is the gift that keeps on giving. But yeah. So anytime anybody wants to anytime anybody brings up Valentine's Day to me, I'm like, it's a Christian corruption of a pagan holiday.
Of course it is. That's what
involving
they do to
werewolves, meat, and fucking. So there you go.
Strips of goat hide.
Yeah.
And they're slashing each other with
naked dudes smack you with strips of bloody goat hide.
Is that the origins of the thong too?
I don't know. We'd have to start with the thong song and work our way backwards, I guess.
Wait, is there a thong song? What is there a thong?
Oh yeah, totally. I thought you were hip. Weren't you weren't you rapping to me and stuff the other day?
Yes,
like, oh yeah, listen to this, I'll listen to that.
Wait,
yeah. You
Anna,
and
what
your
is
scoot. And you don't know the thong song?
Hold
Holy shit.
Look at his little knife. He's so I love him though. Look at his eyes.
That thing's rad.
Like
Whoa.
that's the tradition, but the head felt too large. But the thing is,
and hunched over.
And hunched over and skinny in the wrong places.
Right. And just kind of protective. The way that position, it's very protective. Scared.
Yeah, the thing is, it didn't feel human. It didn't feel wolf in the sense of, it didn't feel demonic.
Yeah.
It didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Only at one certain spot, because if that's what's going on, You know
Mm,
how pack animals are, like also the thing, they have like a whole
yeah,
feeding hierarchy.
right.
They're not just going free for all, like, and even if they were, like, there's an abundance of dinner to choose from,
Mm-hmm.
like, wouldn't they be like spread out because they are very territorial creatures? They
Mm-hmm.
would not all be gathered in one single spot. So,
If it's
you
like
know,
a,
that's
I'm
like you
getting
said, what if it's
trickster.
like a homunculus or a
Yeah,
golem or
I got
something?
homunculus, I got trickster. So I don't know. I don't know if tricksters are a thing in that part of the world.
Oh fuck! Tricksters are a thing in every part of the
That's
world.
what I thought.
in every world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
that
thought.
that's one of those common like that's some Jung shit right there.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I expected an interaction. Like, I expected something. The thing is, it's a clearing. It's large. It's very large. You're a wolf with a bib and a knife and a fork eating away. Like, you could hear me. I'm the only thing making a sound. And it's not like I can even be quiet. I'm stepping over armor. I'm stepping over people. I'm making noises, unmistakable ones. And when I saw them, that's when they looked startled and they just froze. But their heads didn't follow me, neither did their
Yeah,
eyes. So
in the movie, if you're reading the movie script, you would have only heard like the cutlery on the plates or whatever. You know what I mean? And and then like everything would have stopped, and they all would have turned and like looked at you. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing that does not make sense
Mm-hmm.
apart from the bibs. Because, that's also the thing. Like, when did you see somebody wearing a bib unless it was like a baby? Bibs
Exactly.
are
Well, but
Just
very,
that
like
brings
bibs are very
30 years
but
ago,
that but that
jamming on
brings
a
me back to
lobster. You know what I
that
mean? Like that's the last time I saw somebody.
but
Yeah,
that brings
like
me back
seafood
to
restaurant in Florida. You know, yeah.
homunculus, because a homunculus is a miniature, fully formed human. They were saying it's weird. Alchemists in the Middle Ages believed a homunculus could be created artificially. In art, the term also describes how baby Jesus was sometimes drawn as a miniature adult. Isn't that creepy?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
a lot.
studied
Yeah,
that.
well, I mean, we don't have to tell you that as much goddamn art history as
Mhm.
you've done. I mean,
Yeah,
you've looked at
I,
as many slides as I have. So yeah.
the thing is, speaking of Jesus, they were like, a question we got asked is in terms of like nude paintings.
Mhm.
We as students think outweighs each other. Is it nude men or nude women? And I'm just there like, well, you mostly hear and see the naked women, but it's men, and it's because of Jesus. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you know what? That actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
the whole cross thing, it's basically a nude. There's a loincloth,
Right.
but it still classifies, like, just because of the religious depictions,
Yeah.
just the number of Jesus paintings and Jesus memorabilia outweighs all capacity of female nudity in art.
That makes so much sense. Oh my God. You will win Jeopardy with that alone, I feel like, that question.
Yeah,
Because I would have said women
also,
as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, I would have.
Hmm.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the thing is with the the wolf things, like, I feel like they were almost revolted that I was there. It's not that they were scared, it's not that they were
Hmm.
confused. It seemed revolted. Like,
Is
That's
it
ew.
almost like they didn't want to be perceived? They didn't want you. They didn't want anybody to see them eat.
I don't think it was even that. It was just revolted, not at being
Because
seen,
I
but
get
at
this.
me. Concept.
That can account for the bib. Like they're disgusted by what they're doing.
yeah, but
And they're
revolted could
trying to
be
stay
that Anna's
clean.
whole and complete and clean, and then they're doing something that's pretty kind of barbaric in this muddy, bloody situation.
But that's being countered by like the use of cutlery and the bib, because if you're barbaric, you're not making choices about it. You're going all the way.
Yeah.
Like that's the contrast, because there's like a whole bunch of slain warriors there. And that's also a thing I considered, because I know I kept looking around and I was like, maybe there's somebody there, like visible from the edge of the clearing. But
Oh,
no,
what
it
if
was
there's what if there's
vacuum.
somebody there you're not seeing?
Yeah. And
Yeah, but the thing is, I was waiting, like maybe there's like people, hanging up, not hanging over, but like laying over,
mhm,
where it's like their legs are still in the clearing, but the rest of them is like at the woods.
at the woods.
You
Did
Yeah.
you see the sky?
Yeah. It was a sunset
Saw
a
the
bit.
sky. It was just getting progressively darker, and the sun was setting as I was crossing. But clear skies, nothing out of the ordinary there.
Because if you're in a clearing, that's almost an Oculus sort of a thing.
Yeah, it is with that
Yeah.
circle. But that's like a
Still,
ritual. And I'm like, I want to know. We
It's
need
like
to
is
go back. We
is
need the
God
prequel.
looking down on the clearing? You know what I mean?
But I'm getting such trickster energy. Is like these wolf creatures tricked these soldiers into fighting each other. It was like nefarious purposes. They just wanted
Oh, so
to
they could
feast
eat?
on them. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so we need to see the prequel, the beginning of
Well,
the
see,
prior.
that takes it back to demonic in my brain.
Yeah, a little bit, but I feel like it's actually tethered to actual human beings. I feel like you tapped into something that's like happening across the world, where it's like people think they're warring for a country or for a good thing or to, whatever their cause is, but really they're being used by a group of people to satiate their thirst for blood, fill their bellies of blood. I
yeah,
think
I
that
mean,
it's something really that's happening.
If you take it globally, yeah, that makes
I don't
sense.
know.
That makes sense.
that's the whole thing. You can take it in so many
Yeah, you
directions.
could.
Mm.
That's the whole issue, because I was, when I approach these things, I'm like, okay, this is very personal, because
Mhm.
obviously it's happening to you. It's not
Yeah.
being to somebody else.
Yeah.
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 I think of it personally, so I dissect my life and I'm like, what would this imply? Like, what is it trying
Are you
to tell me?
sure they saw you?
That's what I was wondering too. But you
Yes.
said that they were disgusted by you.
Or could there have could they have been seeing someone else? But
No.
you were there, so you basically felt like they're looking at me, but maybe they weren't.
Were you in disguise? You don't know.
I don't know. That's the point. I could only like see when I looked down, like it was my hands. I
Yeah.
checked.
I feel like we've taken this as far as we can take it until
We
if you're
need you to sleep.
comfortable.
We need
If
you
you're
to go to sleep.
comfortable, go back there. If you're not, don't do
Yeah,
it.
no. Yeah, don't do it for us.
Don't do it.
But I feel like there
do it.
The thing
is
is, I
something
feel
there.
like I have to do it for myself, because I'm still thinking about it. Because with
would.
with
You
dreams,
have to put
oftentimes
headphones
you have
on.
it
You
and
have to turn on the Last Temptation of Christ soundtrack, and you can go anywhere you want to.
Or hobbits.
I keep trying to tell you.
With my
I
family,
keep trying to tell Jen.
it's
She
the
won't
music
listen.
of the Shire that gets everybody
Shit,
in the
you
host
just have to listen.
family.
You just have to listen to Peter Gabriel, dude. The Last Temptation of Christ soundtrack. You
No,
can go wherever you want.
In our family, it's the music of the Shire. I swear to God, and all of us will be like,
The
this,
Shire's
and
a little too
snoring.
cutesy, but okay, I get what you're talking about.
I have
You
a
have to
worse
listen to Karma by Delirium, and you can kind of go wherever you want to too.
Whenever we as a family embark on any sort of journey, and
Yeah,
like we're packing and just like doing the last little bits and pieces of preparation before it's go time. And
yeah.
I even do it with my friends. It's Send Me on My Way by Rusted Root from the Ice Age soundtrack.
That's so cute. Wait,
Whenever I hear that,
I have a Rusted Root CD, and I like found it today going through some shit.
Wait a
Like
second.
I've had it fucking 90s.
are you guys open to trying to collectively dream Anna, are you okay if we join your dream? If we like try to join the dreamscape with
See
you?
your ass on the astral plane.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they say that there's like a lot more you can get further with that.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
Fuck
wear
it. The
footwear
places
though.
I usually go in dreams, this sounds like a vacation, so I'm down. Let's go.
Dude, I won't be crossing over any souls. Life is easy.
Uh,
Okay. And then we'll meet on the flip side, guys. This is a great way to end it, I think.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Fantastic.
yeah.
Me,
Hell yeah.
me,
Love
you,
ya.
Jen, Persephone, we'll all be there.
Oh, I want and
The
Lilith.
wolves,
I want Lilith
the
to be
bitch.
there. She's my new bae.
Yeah.
All right.
You
I'm
and
out of here,
Lilith and the
guys.
Morgan.
The Morgan. The Morgan.
No, Jen, before you go, what are you going
What?
to do tonight? What are you going to watch?
I am going to put on pajamas and I'm going to watch the last 2 episodes of Widow's Bay because Sam is like, dude, you need to get on tomorrow. When are you going to do the review of Widow's Bay?
So excited.
He wants to make nachos and listen to me talk about Widow's Bay.
My girlfriend Patricia, like she
Ah.
loves, yeah. Oh,
She's my girlfriend too.
she's the best. She's everybody's
you have
girlfriend.
to share her. She's Polly.
She transcends sexual orientation.
I
Like
know
if
she
you don't
does.
love Patricia,
It's like loving chocolate.
yeah,
Good chocolate.
it's literally like she's the perfect woman for
I
100%.
know she is. Absolutely. I know. I love her too. All
She
right.
drives a bookmobile. She knows her way around a shotgun.
Well, it's going to be at least probably 2
Fights
hours
evil.
and I'll be asleep. So let's see what we come up with. This is going to be interesting.
Hell yeah.
All right.
I'll-
Love you
I'll
guys.
keep you updated. Love you. Bye.
I mean, we'll see what happens. All right. Good times, everybody.
Signing off.
You out?
Not yet, but now.
Right on then. Late.